Holy crap, Avengers Endgame. It might have beaten Avatar. We talked about it up front. Okay, hey everybody, welcome to Collider Live. Now, I think we're on it. Cody, we're on, what channel are we on right now?
We're on the main
channel.
We're on the main
channel right now, everybody. Just to let everybody know, there's a little technical difficulty going on with the other channel, but we'll be backing up and running on the other one sooner than later. But it is Tuesday, not to be confused with Monday, even though it feels like Monday. It's Tuesday.
Sure does.
And we're welcoming back everyone, including you guys for being here today. And thank you to Protein Shake McGee over there, Roxy Stryer. Hi.
It smells like fucking dog in here.
Like dog?
Like wet dog.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know what to tell you.
It didn't happen until like 30 seconds ago.
What happened? You nose just woke up?
I guess so.
Because I don't think you can just change a smell.
Do you guys not smell it?
No, I'm pretty good. But my nose has been kind of clogged for the last 10 days.
All of a sudden. It's
terrible, huh?
Really, and it's not this.
I don't know what it is. No. I can't tell you.
It's the room.
I smoked a cigar yesterday.
Why would you do that?
It was Memorial Day.
What do you mean, why would you do that?
Were you in Cuba?
No, but it was a Cuban cigar, which is pretty
So there you go.
Is it a weird thing to do?
No, I just want to know. I don't like putting this anytime. I know you don't inhale cigars anyway, but it's just I know it's a filthy habit.
I like when I do it. It's fun. It's like fun on the golf course, fun by the pool, whatever.
Yeah.
But then the next day, your mouth just tastes like the microphone.
No, it doesn't feel good.
Yeah.
Hi, Riley.
Hi.
How are you, Rams?
Good.
Mr. Rams. So you can call
Is
him
that
Mr.
your new
Rams.
nickname?
Yeah, it's Mr. Rams.
Apparently so. Wear a hat, get a nickname.
That's right. Speaking of which, where's Chips?
There it is.
Cody, how are you?
I'm doing okay.
How's your lady?
She's doing good.
Yeah?
Still pregnant.
That's good
Still a
news.
thing.
It's good news. How far along are we here?
We got a couple months left.
Home
stretch. Come down
Shit.
the wire here.
You know what that means?
What?
Adam Smith coming to Collider Live. Yeah, in 2 months.
Yep.
I don't get it.
You don't get why we have Adam Smith, who's going to engineer the show in 2 months. There you go, Rox. Thank you, Kasha.
You can't have a kid and an engineer.
Well, no, he's going to want to be with his kid and take care of his wife.
Take a little paternal.
She's going to be
For how
recovering. You know what? I like you a lot. I really do.
Thank you. I like you too.
Because there's nothing in there that's insincere. You clearly want to know the answer
really,
to this
for how
question.
long?
I'd say, Cody, what are you taking? About 3 weeks?
Roughly.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. You want to be there with
I've heard of that paternity leave.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've heard of it.
Every major company would offer that as an option.
Yeah, you seem a little dazed today. What's going on?
Or just
A
pissed.
little off.
Wow.
Sassy.
I didn't feel that way.
You look a little. Now, this is different. You have like different. We all do. We have
Energies?
different levels. We have different levels. Yeah, you're in. It's that thing. Like when you drop it, it's like, oh man. But then it's still like,
man.
what is that? Why is he gone? For what?
Oh,
Yeah. What's
you
going
my
on?
grandma.
Yeah. What happened?
weekend?
Long weekend?
It was fine.
No. No.
The weekend was fine.
No. What
Roxy,
happened?
the doctor's in.
What happened?
Yeah.
Something happened.
Literally,
Okay.
Riley.
Did something
Literally.
happen?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've
What
got
happened?
the doctor is in.
What do you mean the doctor's in? What's going on? You don't want to talk about it?
No, it's not fun. So
Oh. Uh-oh.
it's fine.
Okay. You're okay.
Yeah, I'm okay.
All right, fine.
Okay.
We'll move on. I got a bad cough. I got to figure it out.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going
It's a
on.
party.
It's happened in Chicago.
Is it the cigar?
Really?
Yeah, since Chicago. I got to figure it out. My wife is like, you have to go to the doctor.
Yeah.
Like, you're probably right. I should.
Well, yeah, like I think I've said this story, but in college I had this cough that just wouldn't go away. I was like, it's a party cough. People smoke inside. Yeah, there you go. And then it
Did
was
you do that on purpose?
No.
and then it was walking pneumounia.
Yeah.
So
No, so you probably
Is that what
figure
you
that
have?
out. Sure. I have a fuck do I know, so I'm going to the doctor.
I just diagnosed him.
Yeah, right.
Diagnosed him.
I should just called him.
What are the symptoms of walking pneumonia?
Cough
Good.
and hard to breathe.
Yeah, not been hard.
Do you have like a wheeze when you breathe? Like a little bit of
Well, only when it's.
Let's hear it.
back. No, you'll definitely hear that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I did that on purpose.
Yeah, you
fine.
did. You embellished that.
That
a
one I
touch.
did for sure. Look, lots of things to.
What
was
was
the
that?
hell was that? You sound like a tennis player that was
to
like.
see if I can make the same sound. I guess
That
I
wasn't
can.
even close. Try it again.
It's a
Do it
different
again.
sound,
Do it
but
again. Hold on. Shh. No, you got to try now.
Go.
Come on.
Is that?
It's like a cat being kicked in the asshole.
It sounded like the baby video you showed us
How'd
of
you
your kid
make
trying
that?
to laugh. Are you Zoolander with the black lung?
How do you
not
make that
good.
sound?
Just you got a better chance just talking right now. Wow, it's like a
I've
cat
got
with
the black lung
a hairball.
That
You know what I
doesn't sound
watched?
so well.
What'd
You
you
know what I
watch?
watched, Riley?
No.
it's not the thing.
No.
Did you watch Tiffany's movie?
No, did it come out yet?
Yeah, on Monday.
Yeah.
It's on my DVR.
Yeah, me
You're
too.
cute.
Yeah. No, it was I saw Dog's Journey.
Yes.
I never saw Dog's Purpose.
Dog's Purpose.
I watched
Oh.
Dog's Purpose. I watched
was
Dog's
it?
Purpose. I like Dog's Journey better.
Oh.
Okay.
I like because it was fine the first one, but Dennis Quaid the reason
What's
I
the
liked
one
it
in
the
the
best.
middle? Dog's
only
Way
two.
Home?
It's only two.
No, there was a middle one.
No, it's only
But
two.
I think
It's
there's
a cinematic
books.
universe of dog movies, guys.
Yeah, but there's only two.
Right. And two Dennis Quaid universe ones.
Yes, and the Boss Dog stuff is the stuff I wanted to see and
Yes.
see how it all kind of
Dog's
and it's a little bit of it's a bit silly here and there, but I wanted to watch the first one because I had seen the second one.
Yeah.
you
you
should
watch
watch
with your
it.
daughter?
I want to see it.
No,
Yeah,
I didn't
for
watch
sure.
it with my daughter. I watched it with my wife. We were figuring out something to watch the other day, and it was like, we want to watch something light, so we watched Dog's
Yeah,
Purpose.
but you can't waste movies that you could watch with your daughter on watching with your wife.
This was one that I don't know because there's just, there's
Too sad?
There's a dog that gets shot at one point, and there's other the kind of heavy things. I don't even, my daughter obsessed right now with Aladdin. Obsessed.
Yeah.
So good.
Took her to the premiere. She loved it, right?
Okay.
Then she watched the animated the other night, where she got to stay up a little late, watch a movie. She chose Aladdin the animated, and then had my wife take her. She was gonna see. Sorry, Cody, you're not gonna like this, but they had a date to go watch Detective Pikachu. My daughter was very excited about Detective Pikachu, talking about it for 3 weeks. She sees Aladdin. She just tells my wife, "Cancel Pikachu. I want to see Aladdin
Wow.
again in the theater."
That's
Wow.
So they went to see Aladdin again, which my wife was fine with. Because she'd rather see Aladdin in the live action. They loved it.
Because she hadn't seen it.
She hadn't seen the live action,
She
so they
loved
went.
it,
they-
too?
Yeah, they really enjoyed it. It's like
So
I
good.
think people are trying to get too much into the comparisons and stuff too. And I like, and I like the movie. I liked it. I didn't love it. I liked it a lot, and I thought it was fine.
I mean, the only one I saw, it was a Twitter interaction between you and
Scott
Scott
Mance.
Mance. Yeah, that's the only one I saw that
He didn't like
really
it.
didn't
No, he
like
didn't
it.
like it.
I don't get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't get
Yeah,
it.
he didn't like
I mean,
it.
here's the thing: is I know what I'm getting myself into when I go to see Aladdin. I'm not expecting Braveheart 2,
Right.
Return of Wallace, right? I mean, it's Aladdin.
That'd be a trick.
I know, right?
Yeah.
The Ghost of Wallace.
Yeah, Ghost of Wallace.
I know what I'm getting into. It's a Disney musical. It's lavish. It's going to be loud. It's going to be Will Smith doing all kinds of fun stuff, and there's going to be a little bit of Guy Ritchie. I know what I'm getting myself into.
Guy
It's-
Ritchie didn't really show his hand too much, and this is what I liked
Okay.
about it. There's a couple of times you said, "Oh, there he is," and then but he doesn't, like when he did that Arthur movie, he beat you over the head with his
Yeah.
style. He doesn't
Yeah.
do that in this movie, and,
Okay.
I dug that. But it kicked ass in the theater.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did.
Kicked ass. It almost 100 million, right? What
No,
did it do?
110,
Yeah,
isn't it?
I think it about 83 for the 3,
83 for
and then
3.
over 100 for 4
Holiday.
day.
That's big, man. That's a good
a good one.
good opening weekend for sure. And then we look at the Avengers, which if you clicked on the title and said, "Hey, how come we're not talking about this?" Well, we're going to talk about it because Avengers. I looked at it. What's it, 2.6 right now?
Yeah, I'm going to pull it up right now.
It's like 2.6.
2.6 above that. It's closer
something.
to
It's
2.7.
close.
2.682.
2.682, and Avatar is 2.7 what?
Avatar. Got to find it.
Yeah.
I still haven't seen this movie twice.
Oh, you still haven't seen
No.
Avengers twice?
Yeah,
really?
I still haven't. I've
Interesting.
only seen it one time.
Amanda
Let's see.
still hasn't seen it. I
Here's
still need to
worldwide.
take her,
So
but-
worldwide, Avengers Endgame is at 2.68, and Avatar is 2.78. It is close. I still hold by my prediction that I don't think it'll do it because of this reason. It needs closely 100 million to tie it, right? It made 20 million this weekend, close to 20 million. How much did it make worldwide this weekend? That's the question. Riley, do we know that?
No, I'd got to look it up.
Okay,
I'm taking some notes.
All right. So either way, let's say,
how much longer is it going to stay in
that's what I mean.
theaters?
And let's say it made 35 worldwide. It's going to drop next week, or let's say 40 worldwide. It's going to drop next week, and it's got to do it. It's going to take it's not going to be in theaters for another 5 weeks, is it?
Yes.
You think it is?
Definitely.
But still, it
I
would have to
guarantee
make,
you I
it would
go
have
to
to make
Pittsburgh.
20 million every week for those 5 weeks, and it's not going
And
to
we've
do
got
that.
some big movies coming out in those 5 weeks.
Yeah. And you look at exactly, Aladdin comes out this week, and it's starting. Its own family is going to start picking apart at it now because
Do you think, though, that they keep it in theaters longer to
try? I think so.
So,
yeah, they're
definitely.
probably going to try to break. I mean, at this point, why not try? I mean, you're
I guarantee you
2.6.
I go to Pittsburgh for 4th of July, and it's still in theaters in Pittsburgh.
It'll
Guaranteed.
probably still be in. I mean,
Wow.
here's a reason why. Also, another reason that sometimes they take them out a little early is they want to push that Blu-ray release.
Yeah.
You know, and they want to get it out of the theater. I mean, it's just not too big of a deal, but you get it out of the theaters so you can push it on the Blu-ray. Because Captain Marvel, I think, just came out on digital.
Okay.
And now that's going to hit Blu-ray pretty soon. And yeah, man, I don't know. I just don't think that's hard. 100 million, but I got close.
I finally watched Fighting with My Family, not related, but I watched it on digital, so that's where it tied in.
Let's save that because we're
remind me.
Because then we have the comments, so we only talked about the main topic for 3 minutes.
All right.
Yeah, I just don't know if it can do it. Riley, you've been saying pretty strong that you think it is going to do it. Do you stand by that?
No, I was hoping because when you see it open and make as much as it did over the first couple weeks, I was like, oh, this could really happen. Now, as it's starting to more movies coming out, I don't think it's going to hit it.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be
hard.
that close.
Yeah, Roxy, you thought it was going to pass it?
I still think
you
it
still
is.
think it's going to do it?
Yeah, because I think that people want it to,
Yeah.
and so they will will it.
Well, the Russos were willing it. Did you see that? They were trying to. They're like, go see it again. Be in air conditioning, and then a lot of people tweeted at him saying, no, go see Booksmart
Yeah.
because that's a smaller movie and I appreciated that.
Yeah, Booksmart I heard was great. We'll talk about that
Yeah.
also.
I
Anybody
gotta go
seen
see it this
Unreal.
week.
Unreal.
You saw it? Okay, we'll talk
Yeah.
about that too. You also thought it was going to beat it.
Yeah, I did.
You think it's gonna be
Here's
it?
the thing: is I bet they around Oscar time will re-release it.
Yeah.
In the theaters.
Yeah.
Which may take it over the 2, 7, 8. Right. But
Depends
right
on what
now,
lands on it. Yeah.
right now, I think.
Why do you think that?
I think because they wanted to get it nominated for Best Picture, and I think they want to get some interest from whoever to get like the conversation started again with Avengers Endgame. Here's my thought:
What
is
are
that
movies that have done that?
There have been movies that have
Tons
done
of
that for sure.
Yeah, what movies? I know there
Didn't
have
Black
been what?
Panther re-release?
Yeah.
Towards Oscar stuff.
Yeah. I don't think there certainly has been examples, and Black Panther is a good one for sure. I just don't think they're going to do that for this movie because it's one of those things. I think you've seen it already. You know, you know. I mean, look, Black Panther, same
can
thing.
be said about Black Panther.
Black Panther, same thing. Black Panther made a lot of money, made $1 billion. So I just don't know if they're going to re-release it. I just think that they're going to give it its run. You might be right as far as letting it stay a little longer in theaters to see if they can just edge it out. Let's see where it hits next week. Did you find out what it made worldwide?
No, I mean, there's a lot of charts, and it's a
just not
Tuesday
there.
is a Monday, and I can't see. They look like ants dancing on the screen.
Yeah. Okay. Fine.
It made like 20 million here, 20 million there. It's all breaking down all the different.
Let's say give or take 40 million, right?
Yeah.
And so it's still it would need to make at least 30 to 35 worldwide next week.
I bet like each week for the next 5 weeks, it makes 10 to 15 every week.
I got it right here.
Yeah, what do
Made
you-
15 million from 54 markets.
Okay, so we're looking at like 35 million that it made for the whole weekend. I don't know, man. That's just because the drop is going to be pretty big next
Here's
week.
another thing. I was like,
and
do you
this week-
remember the Avatar being like the word of mouth?
Yeah,
That
definitely.
it was way bigger than Avengers, right?
Well, no, it wasn't just that. It was the fact that because what Roxy said before, it's in the middle of summer season right now.
Yeah.
So Avatar was not. Avatar came out in like I think it was December. So it had all December to rule. Then it had January. Then it had February. To where people weren't. There was nothing to see during those months. You have this week alone. Rocket Man is not going to take away that audience.
You've got Godzilla, which is
Godzilla.
going to be really big
That's
for
the big
this.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Ma's going to pull some too.
That's
Yeah.
right.
It's a
All
nice
three. And
horror
then next
release.
Right. Next week is what? Toy Story.
Next week is Dark Phoenix.
Dark Phoenix. Right.
Secret Life of Pets 2.
Yeah,
The
man.
Deuce.
It's like, and then you got Toy Story after that, and then Lion King's coming out.
And Men in
It's-
Black
Yeah,
International.
it's game over time at this
Man,
point.
last night on The Bachelorette, they were pushing Secret Life of Pets 2 in every single clip.
That's their big franchise,
Yeah, I
right?
know. Yeah, but they were, they had one of the dates was about Secret Life of Pets. And then
Did
they
you see the
just-
first one?
No.
I don't like the first one at all.
Yes,
I didn't see it.
I didn't like it.
It's the one where the pets talk, right?
Yeah.
That's could be said about
All
any
dogs go to heaven.
No,
Okay.
but this movie, I didn't like the first Secret Life of Pets, and I'm hoping that they change it up a little bit too. My daughter really wants to see it, obviously. I had an amazing time with The Bachelorette last night.
Yeah.
I fell asleep 5 minutes in and didn't wake up. It was great.
God.
I was exhausted from being.
It was
just,
quite the episode.
I couldn't do it. I woke up at one point, saw some guy talking about how he's a weirdo and that he had to tell her some secret. And I looked at my wife, groggy as shit, in my robe, and I go, "What'd he do?"
Yeah.
And she's like, "Don't worry about it. Go to sleep."
You guys have been
Nice.
telling me though how crappy the guys are, and I talked to a bunch of girls who watched the show this week, and
Yeah.
they said how amazing the guys are this season.
I didn't. I
Like
didn't
in
tell-
drama
no,
purposes or
no
like
idea.
good dudes?
Like they love the guys.
My name is John Paul Jones.
There he is.
The
What-
thing is
What?
that all the dudes are very
Horrible.
Like no, they are trending towards being just as dramatic as the women
Right.
right now, but they're
Well, that's
all
what
like this one dude last night. I
You
forget
didn't
his
watch?
name.
No.
You went back on your word. Okay.
I did.
Week 5.
The guy's name was Tyler, I think, and he was like so pitted, bro. Like, listen, Hannah, like sometimes when you're hurt, it says the right things.
Like
I'm like
Bill and
seeing
Ted.
that right now. He was Keanu Reeves and Bill and Ted.
Yeah.
He legitimately was.
Are any of them there for love?
No.
Well, I mean, maybe. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I mean, yes.
Some are, but
And
then
no.
they persuade.
they get the
Jared
fame.
and Ashley are in
No,
love.
Were you trying to do the cough thing?
That's true. There's some people that are for sure, but they're mostly there to be on Bachelor in Paradise.
Totally.
And then people have been asking me, they've been tweeting at me,
Bump their IG.
did I watch AEW, the Double or Nothing? I did, and we are going to talk about it. We're going to give it a little bit more time than just like a little 5 minutes. Ryan Satin from Pro Wrestling Sheet's going to come in at 11 o'clock, and we're going to kind of break down and talk about it. He was there. He was actually at the event, so we're going to talk about the
was
energy
it?
in the crowd in Vegas. Yeah, it was in
Oh,
Vegas
nice.
at MGM, right?
I don't know.
I think it was
but
the
Vegas.
MGM, but it was. All I'll say is this: is that
You called it the MGM Jam.
no. But WWE needs to get their shit together. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
After watching
Everybody's
this,
saying that.
that's all I'm going to say about that, and we'll talk about it kind of in full at 11 o'clock when he comes in. Even if you're not a big wrestling fan, you should listen to it because it's just good business, and it's on how to run a brand. It's as far as just competing. It's rivalries. It's a good story behind it. So again, even if you're not into wrestling, I highly encourage you just check out and listen to the discussion because we're going to be breaking down kind of everything that we saw and what the history is and who's going to go there and whether or not the real Dean Malenko is following me on Twitter. I found that out yesterday. I was like, is that the team? You guys don't know who that is, but I know who it is. Very, very.
Wow.
When did he start following?
Big wrestler.
Yesterday, but I said, but it wasn't verified, and I said, I don't know if this is the
Why?
real. Why isn't it
is not
verified?
yeah.
I
Same
don't know.
you problem?
Maybe, and it was a newer account, and then I was like, maybe this isn't the real Dean Malenko. So I started looking at people that were following him, and like Paige was following him, and other people following him. Like maybe it is. I don't know, but I like Dean Malenko.
Dean Dolinko.
Yeah, well, Dean Malenko would choke your
Pretty
face
similar.
off.
Is this a good time to talk about fighting with my family?
Please, absolutely. Good response and good transition,
Oh,
kind of.
it's so
it's great.
good.
Isn't
Well,
it
you
great?
mentioned Paige.
Why didn't you see that in theaters?
That's interesting.
I can't with you. I
Was
can't.
it just not in theaters long?
Yeah, why
And then remember when you gave me a Blu-ray? Remember what happened?
You left it here?
No, I did not leave it here. I left it for when we were filming on the table and
someone
somebody
stole it.
took it.
Yeah.
Because apparently
That's
that's,
what happens
the
here.
law here.
Yeah.
It was so good. I was really impressed.
Yeah, it's good.
I knew most about what it was going to be, so it wasn't like the storyline surprised me, but I just thought the performances were great.
A lot of heart.
I cried at the
Yeah, a lot of
end. I
heart.
was super inspired. And how much of that, though, Kristian, because I don't remember Paige's first
Match?
Yeah.
Oh, the match was a little embellished.
Because that doesn't seem like
No,
it
she
could
didn't.
be
She didn't like
possible.
freeze up.
Freeze it, yeah,
No,
okay.
No, it was a little embellished
All
for the
right.
movie, but which
I
is
don't
fine.
care. That's
no, it was
great.
fine.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, actually, because I remember that, and then I rewatched it afterwards, and I was like, I don't think she did that, and she didn't. But
Yeah.
but there
What
was.
did she do?
I mean, there's a lot of stuff. I mean, she won the title.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
did she not say her name?
I think she
not?
did. I think she did.
Okay.
Yeah, and there was it was just a really well done film. But then they also took a lot from the documentary that they made on that movie.
I haven't seen it.
That's a bummer. That movie. That's the kind of thing that you see. Like it didn't. I think people see it and think wrestling right away. I'm glad you got a chance to see it because I think that in you know it's just a good movie. It's
a good movie.
It's
Yeah,
just
it
a
was
good
good.
movie because I think that people that aren't wrestling fans see it, and I'm surprised the wrestling fans didn't support it because it didn't do that well.
Really?
It did okay. That the wrestling fans really should have supported that movie. Because
Why do you think they didn't?
Don't know. Don't know. Maybe
The Rock is so funny in it.
He's good. He's
Yeah.
not even in that much, but when he's in it,
and
he
he's in
delivers.
It was great.
But the thing was, I think that what wrestling fans do is because they've been bit on the ass so many times from WWE movies. There've been so many shitty ones.
The Marine.
Yeah, there've been a lot of
1 through
shitty
6.
movies. So maybe they think, hey, here's another one they're going to just try to get me in the theater for because I like wrestling. But this is a different type of movie.
The actor that played her brother
Yeah, he was good.
was unreal. Was he the guy in Dunkirk that pretended that he didn't speak English?
I'm not going to tell you a definitive no because
I know that he was in Dunkirk, but I think that's who he was.
Was he? I don't
Yeah.
think so.
I don't
so.
think I paid enough attention in Dunkirk to actually pick out one character.
I love Dunkirk.
I love Dunkirk too, but not as much as I love.
As me. Oh.
I gotta be honest. Of like,
No, I love that movie.
No, as I love the Churchill movie that year, Darkest Hour. I thought that movie
That
was.
movie's great.
love
that
Darkest
movie,
Hour.
That movie crushed.
You know what's
Yeah.
funny is that Dunkirk is a great kind of counterpart to that movie.
Yeah, it
yeah.
was great.
Because
I
you
loved
watch-
seeing one than
Yes.
the other. That was awesome.
I happen to agree with you though that Darkest Hour is one of my favorite movies of the year.
too.
And I love Dunkirk. I think that in my list I ranked I ranked Darkest Hour higher because I just thought Gary Oldman was out of control good. I watched the movie.
Ridiculous.
I've seen the movie 3 times.
People who say that it's just prosthetics and makeup and that's why he was at it.
That's ridiculous.
It's so rude.
He became Churchill.
Yeah, he was
He
unbelievable.
became Churchill. And speaking of becoming somebody, the best actress working today, hands down, there is no argument for me, is Michelle Williams.
Oh my God,
She
Fosse
is-
Verdon?
Did you watch Fosse Verdon?
I watched a lot.
I
I mean,
didn't watch it.
My,
my God.
my wife has been
incredible.
watching it like religiously, and here's the thing: I just missed out when she started watching it, so I haven't been like as tuned in. But when I watch, I'm like, oh, what is this? Like I do with Bachelor, where I start checking my emails. I'm locked in and I'm watching it. She is. I mean, she's
a
Daniel
phenom.
Day-Lewis level.
Yes.
I mean,
Oh,
she
yeah.
is so good.
Phenom.
You are watching her, and you're saying, "Where's Michelle Williams?"
I've never seen Michelle Williams in that show.
Never. I mean, like because what's
I
his
didn't know
face?
who Gwen Verdon is.
Yeah.
I never knew. I mean, obviously you know who Bob Fosse is because he won everything. And like,
Right.
if you're just a casual, musical whatever fan of the '70s, you know the name Bob Fosse. The guy
Right.
he was an influence in dancing and musicals forever, right?
Chicago.
I had no idea who Gwen Verdon was until this show, and then you realize that Fosse was the villain. Gwen Verdon she was just a Broadway legend at that point. I didn't know. What Michelle Williams is doing as Gwen Verdon, it's like
It's insane.
You're watching a master
There's
class.
if she does not win the Emmy,
Oh
I
my
don't.
God.
There's no one that can touch her.
Is the
right now.
show great though?
It's
Or-
really
show is
good.
So it's worth
fantastic.
Show's
rewatching.
yeah,
Okay,
absolutely.
Okay.
And she is so good in the role, and Rockwell's fantastic. He's always
Yes.
fantastic. But you can always see. I mean, and this is of any actor. You always see a bit of that person inside of the role. She disappears. You do not know that it's her. She literally becomes someone from that time period. Her voice, everything. I said to my wife, it's like it's not that Gwen Verdon was that Gwen
Verdon.
Verdon. Not that she was unattractive. She's just very kind of old timey. Like you realize she's a pretty woman for the time, but I'm not like attracted to her. Michelle Williams, I'm attracted to. When I see her, and I'm like not attracted to her in this role because she's. I mean, it's the way she speaks, the way she talks. I feel like I'm watching someone my grandmother would have hung out with. It's crazy. Like I could not believe how
that's great.
she's great in this role.
And she totally pulls off that like
Right.
because that was the time,
and it's not forced.
Nope.
It was, and she just became the character, like you said. When someone just becomes, it was nuts watching. And I said to my wife, I was like, if she does not win the Emmy, this is full on crime.
This is
full on crime.
The only way she's because it's a limited series. I
Yeah.
don't know where they're gonna put Big Little Lies this year but I would
And
imagine
limited
that
series as well.
will it be limited series?
Yeah, because that's how they're advertising it.
Yeah.
So I have to assume.
because then you'll probably have
Meryl
Meryl Streep, but
She'll be
Meryl
supporting
Streep.
probably.
I think
Meryl
she's supporting.
Streep.
Yeah, I think she's supporting.
Yeah.
But Fosse Verdon, I mean, it's. I mean, again, everybody thinks it's sort of like a musical show. Like they would think that Fighting with My
It's
Family is a
not.
wrestling movie. It's
not.
not. It
No,
really
no,
isn't.
I love
It's-
musical shows
I
anyway.
think.
though.
Yeah.
Well, I think Rockwell has gotten a lot of people to watch
Sure.
because he's just one of those beloved actors, and I think that. I mean, anything Michelle Williams is in, whether it's Blue Valentine or I mean,
that movie.
the
Brokeback Mountain.
Brokeback Mountain. But what's the one? The one Manchester by the Sea.
Manchester by the Sea.
That
Oh,
scene
yeah,
in
my
Manchester by the
goodness.
Sea when she's with Casey Affleck and they meet up again after all
Oh
those
my
years.
God.
It just. Her
Got you.
performance, it hits you in the heart with an axe, and she is so. I mean, she is so underrated. I know everyone realizes how good of an actress she is, but she is at another level. And this was just something that I watched her the other day, and I said, "That is just someone that not enough people are talking about." You recognize her? Yeah, she's a really great actress. She is next level talent.
Do you think she's an A-list celebrity?
Yeah,
Yeah.
for
You guys do?
sure.
I don't.
Yeah.
I always judge you know, Grammy and Sky, my little sister. I don't think either of them probably know
Would
who
know.
she is.
Yeah, I mean, not in that.
be.
There's celebrity. There's like A-list celebrity. Maybe not, but I mean, as
I think
far
she's
as
A-list
movie
actress.
star, yeah. But I see where you're coming from too. Like like if I was talking to my mom, or my dad, like, wait, which one is that?
Yeah, exactly.
she's
and then you say, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I saw that movie."
which is crazy because she should
be a bigger name. Household
Everyone
name.
should know who she
I
is.
agree.
When you come to just overall talent, Michelle Williams is the best actress working today. There's just no one
Yeah.
better than her. And there are other people that I like a lot and maybe even like better than her. But as far as raw talent goes, I don't know.
If you watch, I mean, because I guarantee you in Big Little Lies, Meryl Streep's going to play herself. A lot of the actresses that are getting nominated are going to play herself. I haven't watched this Gentleman Jack show. I watched like the first 30 minutes. I was like, I don't know if this one's for me. But, I mean, because it's like slow British television. But what she is doing on screen in Fosse Verdon is
It's
just
nuts.
You
bonkers.
watched the first season of Big Little Lies?
Yeah, oh yeah.
I didn't feel like they were playing themselves at all.
Maybe not Nicole Kidman.
I'm not saying
No.
that's especially
Right.
Nicole Kidman.
Reese Witherspoon, I think, had a lot of
Yes.
Reese Witherspoon.
There was a lot of Reese Witherspoon in there.
Maybe
But I thought
her
she's great in
more
that.
so, but
Yeah.
Shailene Woodley, I don't feel like, or I get what you guys are saying. Maybe it's not the transformation
Right.
that Michelle Williams
Totally,
is doing.
that's what
but,
I'm kind of getting
Okay.
at.
Yeah, no, but they use a lot of their personality to play the character, which a lot of actors and
Which is what
actresses
you
do.
learn in
Totally.
school.
100%. People do it all the time, and that's what I mean. Like even what I said with Rockwell, like Sam Rockwell's bringing a lot of what Sam Rockwell brings to a lot of his roles and putting it into Fosse. But
Which is why he's cast.
yeah. But you don't see Michelle Williams. It's insane. Like Christian Bale, you see like even the stuff like Christian Bale for Dick Cheney, he disappeared into the role and became Dick Cheney, right? But there's only like a handful of actors that can do that because Christian Bale, who is super famous and an A-list star, he's a guy that like it's hard to look at a role and say, well, that's Christian Bale. Yet he still finds a way to do it, whether it's in The Fighter or The Machinist,
I was gonna say Machinist,
yeah,
my goodness.
or this, or you know the whatever the hell I was just talking about with Vice.
Vice.
He finds a way to do it, and Michelle Williams is now becoming that person. I just don't think. I think
That's
she.
how I feel about Charlize. I think she
They're
is the
on?
number one working actress in the
I gotta
world.
be honest. I mean, Long Shot blew me away.
I heard it was
what I
great.
hear.
But
Yeah,
like
no,
but
it's great.
thinking about the fact that she can do that, or then something like Tully, or then something like Monster. I mean, talk about somebody who
She's pretty great.
transforms.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Michelle Williams isn't, and you don't have to compare the two. but
Monster is another one. Yeah.
I said that.
You said that? Sorry, I missed it. No, I missed it.
But yeah, Charlize to me,
Did you
like
ever see her in Monster? She was great in that.
who was in Monster?
Charlize Jennings.
Christina Ricci.
No, but you're right. You're absolutely right. She should be up in the conversation as well. I think she's another one. Her, Nicole Kidman, they're actresses that I think that are super solid. But there's something Michelle Williams. I just put her in that upper echelon. I
Yeah.
put her up there. And you know, call me nuts. I think she's up there right now with Bale and Daniel Day-Lewis. And I think she is someone. She's a go-to. You want
Joaquin
to.
Phoenix.
Joaquin Phoenix is another one. I think that if there's a role that you want someone to lose themselves in and just transfer over exactly what you're looking for, I think Michelle Williams is the actress.
Have we seen her do major accents?
I'm gonna do a British one, I think.
I don't know. The only thing, the only one that I think that I noticed that was Michelle Williams that I said what a waste was Venom.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Venom
My
was the only one
goodness.
where I said like you talk about where they didn't use her to her. I mean, that's like, hey, we've got
still
Daniel
like
Day-Lewis in the house.
It's just like someone says to you, listen, we're gonna serve filet mignons all day on set. You want that? No, give me Domino's.
Yeah. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give me Domino's.
Yeah.
Well, why? Why not?
Not even like a New York style.
No, Domino's.
Domino's.
I want cardboard with bread on. That's cardboard
have
with
the
bread,
app.
some cheese, and that's it. All right.
It makes remember going back to All the Money in the World, the entire debate about her and Wahlberg coming back, and
right.
how much he was getting paid versus how much she was getting
Listen,
paid.
I like Mark Wahlberg. Okay, I've liked him in pretty much every movie he's ever been.
I really appreciate it.
For me. But like talking about actors and actresses, somebody that can like disappear in a role and somebody's the same in every movie he's ever done. It's Wahlberg. Yeah.
You like him.
You
He's
love him.
likable.
Yeah, he's
That's
the best.
and this is the thing. This is the trick. Rocha had this post, and I just wasn't about to argue with him on social media. I wasn't in the mood. But he posted this post about Keanu Reeves being the perfect choice for Batman.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, I couldn't disagree more. I think he's the most likable, decent actor of all time. He's such a likable person that you want to watch him every single time, no matter what he does. He's a likable guy, and that's why he's so great in John Wick, because he will sacrifice his body. He's like, Batman doesn't need good acting. False.
Yes.
False.
But why would we? The whole point is going with a younger Batman. We're telling a different story. Why would we?
No, I think he said he was
trade
like
out
looking
Ben
at.
Affleck for.
He was looking
Keanu
at
Reeves.
Keanu Reeves in a picture where he was wearing a tuxedo, and then Rocha went on this thing where he's
Right.
like,
We missed to drop the ball or
Yeah,
something,
we
yeah.
never thought Keanu Reeves could be Batman, and I'm like, well,
Yeah, it's
who's
like,
Neo?
who are you?
Yeah,
I'm Batman.
yeah.
Whoa. I'm Batman. I'm Batman. It's like, even when John Wick, which is such a badass movie,
Yes.
he says things sometimes, you just kind of shake it off and go, that's all right.
It was
He's like,
funny. You laugh.
Right. He's like, are you going to kill me? Yeah. And you laugh, but it's not good acting. He's like Keanu Reeves.
Totally.
Keanu Reeves doesn't try to pride himself on being a good actor, but he's
Yes.
a Batman. He
I
is
still
not.
think
It was
he's
the
a
worst
good-
casting choice I've ever seen in my life.
He's a good performer. He's a good
Yes.
performer.
Yeah, he is.
I still go back to, and I don't know why more people don't talk about this movie, Hardball. It's his best performance.
he's good in Hardball.
He's really
Yeah.
good in it. And
What's
the movie
Hardball again?
He
with
becomes
G-Baby.
Yeah, he
It's the
becomes
first movie I ever
like
cried in.
a baseball coach for kids, right?
Oh, okay.
It's so good.
Interesting.
Yeah, I
You
liked
really
it.
like it.
Yeah,
I bet I would.
Replacements
Yeah.
was good too.
Yeah.
But but that's the thing.
But
When-
he's not Batman.
No,
I mean,
when he's in
no.
the role, you like because you never say, "Oh, why am I watching this guy's terrible?" No, he's one of the most likable humans in the world, and you watch him because that's why he's such a movie star because you care about him, and even if he does a line where you don't give a shit about it, it's not one of these things like, "Oh, why did they hire this guy?" You get why they hired him, but it's just he's just not. Neo didn't need great acting; he just needed kick ass.
I will say that I still to this day think that Speed is the second greatest action movie of all time, if not the greatest. And I don't think you put anybody in that role besides Keanu
great,
Reeves and
yeah.
it works.
Right.
Yeah.
I really
Again,
honestly believe that.
because it relies on the same skills that he has for John Wick.
Yes.
It doesn't rely on the skills and Rocha's argument is that you don't need a great actor for Batman, and I couldn't disagree more. You need a great actor for Batman.
Should I watch Matrix or Bachelorette?
Matrix.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Always.
couldn't
What
do
kind
that.
of a
I couldn't.
question is
well,
that?
no, because she's supposed to watch two things for the show, and she has none either. And so if as a good human, I have to tell you to watch.
Okay, so they did this thing on Bachelorette last night, which I think would be an amazing bit for the show if we can somehow get it. Is they put these sensors on the dude's stomach and it's supposed to emulate childbirth,
Oh, boy.
right? And the guys are like freaking out.
You
So
wanna
the
do
guy,
it?
I think it'd be really funny.
Cody.
If we can get
Cody.
it. No, I get you to do it.
I'd do it.
Yeah,
I think it'd be
definitely.
hysterical.
Oh, yeah.
But I
That's
don't
a
really
Josh
get what
McCougar
you
Can
mean.
you can you look into that?
Sure.
Yeah, we can do that.
How do they do it on the?
They like put them in stirrups, and then they had these sensors all like around the ab area here.
Were they screaming?
And they were screaming. It was like, I
But
think
how
you
are
were
you
getting
supposed
like,
to know if that means it's you're in
Right,
love
they
with
just rip.
somebody?
No, not in love. They just want to know if it's
they're
if
like
it,
emulating childbirth.
Right.
It's for the gig. It's for the bit.
But this is on the date.
yeah, it's
No,
not
there's
a-
on a group date.
It's a group date. It's just to have fun to see what to show
Trying to
you can
produce
do
television.
you can
here,
do
Roxy.
anything with
There's
your,
only
with your
so many
partner.
dates where you can sit around and go
Yeah.
like, I like today. Me too. Today was
Right.
great. There's only
Yeah.
so many dates.
Oh,
you
like
can be
the test of.
Test of like can you
Pain.
like I'll do this for our love with you.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a stupid thing.
Nobody's saying we're like breaking Nobel prizes
Exactly.
here in physics. I watched a ton of stuff this weekend
What'd you
because
watch?
we got really after it on Friday night and we were hungover all day Saturday. The wife doesn't do too well with hangovers. I'm fine. I wake up and I can go about my
Sure.
day. But Amanda did not do well. So we watched Rim of the World, which was
Oh.
actually very entertaining.
How was it? I didn't realize it was out.
It was great.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
on
watched it.
Friday.
What?
And
You say it
What?
on this show. You say and
Yeah.
watch this
And do you know
Memorial
what-
Day
yeah.
weekend.
And do you know why I said that? Because I had notes. You know what I didn't have over the weekend? Notes. I had NyQuil. So leave me the fuck alone.
Notes.
Yeah. Notes. Notes.
Rim of the World was great.
Okay.
We watched Wine Country.
Which one's that?
First 30 minutes,
Netflix.
hysterical.
Yeah.
25 minutes
I watched some
hysterical.
of that too. I couldn't do it.
I
And
couldn't
then-
do it. You thought of the first. I couldn't get
Yeah, I
through
couldn't
it.
get through it. Sadie
Yeah.
couldn't get through it, dude. That's tailor made for her, and she
What
couldn't.
happens
Yeah.
after 30 minutes?
Okay, like the
It's just
first
not
20
good.
minutes, they're like doing some
It's,
fun
it's
improv,
Rachel
da-da-da.
Dratch and
then
Tina
all-
Fey.
Amy Poehler.
Tina Fey doing a really bad character too. by the
Yeah.
way.
Who is Rachel Drad?
Dratch.
Dratch.
I still don't know.
Early SNL.
You know
with
who she is.
Amy
You know right away.
Poehler.
Debbie Downer.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. And then
Wow,
yeah.
where's she been?
She's
Wine
always
Country.
popping up. Yeah, right. Exactly. She's been in Wine Country, and Amy Poehler. I believe, by the way, Amy Poehler and Bonnie Somerville are related some way
Yes.
or another.
Oh my God.
It's crazy.
100%.
It's crazy.
Yes.
They ran into each other once, and Amy Poehler told Bonnie, she's like, "You're like the pretty me." I think Amy Poehler's very attractive, but
Me too.
she said that to Bonnie.
It's the movie. Just I don't know what it was.
It's just not good.
Yeah,
it's just like a bad Saturday Night Live sketch.
Totally.
Yeah,
Totally.
My-
The breakout star was the bigger blonde-haired woman though, who was a writer on SNL for a
She
long
was
time.
good. She was good.
great.
She's when she's at the bar trying to pick up the
Yes.
other girl. That was
Yeah,
good, but
yeah.
it just is badly written.
Yeah, totally. And I don't think much
Write
of it
your own
was
script.
written.
I'm sorry.
There was one really good part in it though, and anybody that's been wine tasting, I'm looking at Mark Riley here.
Hi.
There are the people that take it so serious, like, and then there's people like, oh no, what's this white? Great, I'll walk away. And that's what they like making fun of the wine taster people. There were two very funny
Lost.
scenes in that.
Yeah.
It
All right.
was pretty good.
The other thing that we can talk about now, because spoiler ban is up, is that the Houston event has come and gone.
Yeah.
It is over and done with. We had a really good showing. It was a lot of fun. Thank you to everybody who came out, and thank you to everybody who watched it on the YouTubes, because that came out on Friday. Great reaction. Like I said, there's two events that are on sale right now. You got here's the thing. San Diego right now. You got to assume, because everyone who's going to Comic-Con, if you're going, you got Rachel Cushing going to defend the title against either Smets or Kalinowski, right? We got to get those tickets moving. for San Diego.
Who's the undercard?
Don't have one yet. Don't have one yet. That's going to be announced after Collision because there's so much happening in Collision, which is June 22nd, live streaming, 4 big matches. What I can say, the two matches that are announced for Collision for sure are Smets versus Kalinowski, number 1 Intergeekdom contender match. Winner plays Rachel in San Diego, and then a manager bowl. Those are the 2, and we'll announce the manager who is going to be in that pretty soon. And then there's going to be a number 1 contender singles match, and then the main event is still up in the air. The main event is still up in the air. That'll come out pretty soon.
Where is the Schmoedown in San Diego? What is the name of the theater? We need to promote that on this.
Joan Kroc Theater. It is the Joan Kroc Theater. It is the Joan
go.
Kroc Theater, and it's once again the Schmoedownlive.com, July 20th, Saturday night. Get your tickets now. The Schmoedownlive.com for that one.
And that'll serve as the Collider meet and greet, the
Everything.
Collider Live meet and greet. Everything will be at that thing. So if you want to
There's
see us at
just-
Comic-Con,
You gotta come
to
there.
that Schmoedown.
There's 0% chance it doesn't sell out. I really feel
It's just
that
I
way,
feel that it's just
Kristian.
going to be as we get closer to everyone making their plans for San Diego. I think
Yes.
that's the case
Nobody
too.
wants to commit to anything during Comic-Con because you
Until-
don't know when you're hammered.
and the schedule and stuff too.
Yeah, things like that. But it's all of our people.
Well, that's how I felt because New York we're already at 360 tickets sold already,
Yeah.
and it's 3 months away. San Diego right now, because we had Houston was sold out, New York was sold out, Chicago was sold out. San Diego right now is at 60 tickets.
Wow.
500. So here's what I taught the event coordinator wants to pull the event. Wants, and I said nope. I said San Diego is going to, because I think exactly what you said. I think because of Comic-Con, as we get closer. But what I said was if by July 1st we haven't at least sold 250 tickets, then we'll pull the event.
Wow.
That's what we'll do.
Get
But
on it.
I mean,
I think that I'm not worried, but I'm with you. I'm not worried about it. I think that is because Comic-Con, you're making plans, you don't know if you're going or not, and that was the reason why. I just would rather do, because Rachel and either Smets or Kalinowski, they deserve either.
Why don't you announce an undercard? Why don't you put together
I don't have
undercard?
one
That's what I
yet. 'Cause
asked him.
That's the problem. Is that the undercard I don't have yet because things have to match up. And
Yeah,
I
why
don't.
don't you just do like an exhibition? Why don't you put like Wild Berries against somebody? Why don't you do something fun?
can I come?
I got to see. Why else? That's another thing though. I got to see who's going to be at Comic-Con because Comic-Con ain't cheap to put people up.
Yeah.
So I got to see who's going to be there.
Do LA locals so that we can come back and
I'll
forth.
figure.
Didn't
That's a bitch though on a
answer
Saturday morning
my
Comic Con.
question.
I mean, taking the train.
We'll
or
figure it out. Look, like I said, I'm not worried about it. My event coordinator was more worried about it than I was. I'm not worried about it because I think that San Diego, everybody, like you said, you got to get your ducks in a row to figure out what's happening with.
But also, if you guys are at home, this is a really good time to tell your nerd friends. Like the people who love movies. This is a great first event for anybody
Exactly.
to go to because we're at Comic-Con.
Right.
So even if they don't know what it is, Rachel's the best of all time. One of them at least.
I
So
bet you by July 1st we're at 300. I'm not worried about it.
I'm not
I'm really
worried
not
about
worried
it
about it.
either, but I am worried about this July 1st deadline that I need people to do it because I think people are going to try to buy tickets week of because it's Comic-Con. And
Right.
so if they don't do it by then and we have to pull the event, that would suck.
Well, the only reason why is because you just can't operate at a loss. It'd
Yeah.
be just too much of a loss because the theater costs a lot, and because of all the success of Chicago and Houston, New York, like things they go so quick that it's a matter of. I told the events coordinator, I said, listen. I think because the way Comic-Con runs, I happen to agree with you. I think it's just as we get closer, it's going to move. So we'll see. But
What's up with the New York one?
New York? We're at 3:30 or something.
When is that?
It is August 31st, and it is in Manhattan. And it's going to be right now. It's going to be 2 Ultimate Schmoedown singles matches. Most likely the 8 versus the 9 and the 1 versus the 16, maybe. Or there's a slight possibility there might be a title match. It just depends on, again, how things shape up. That's the beauty of what we do, is that it runs like a UFC, and the fighters will dictate what happens. And that's why another reason why there were a lot of morons on the comments section too, because when you look at that, the digital wheel stinks. I know it does. I know the digital wheel stinks, but there's nothing that we can do as far as bringing it anywhere. And someone's like, "Whoa, rigged." What kind of shitty, horrible writer would I have to be to have the 2 biggest rivals come after each other and then go, you know what we're going to do? We're going to have Ben beat him 18-5 in the second round. Then, no, have him spinner's choice once, then have him spin it again.
Yeah.
And then, for what? Because then you can't get but then I got to rush the 4 horsemen coming in the second round as opposed to having them come in the beginning of the third round. It's great writing. Dummies. So stupid.
I agree that if you were rigging it, you would have done something else.
Right. Yeah, it's the truth.
You would have given Ben a category he's not as strong in. You would have given because he's a stronger player
He
than
says- and I-
Drew is a lot of the times.
Yes.
You would have given Drew a category he knows that he's
Right.
good in for a closer match.
If you listen to the thing though, when he goes spinner's choice and he spins again, right? And I go, thank God, because I was like, if it would have landed on spinner's choice, then I got to hear all these people, and then it hits spinner's choice again, and I go, oh my God, and he goes, I want to spin again, and you hear me go, you want to spin again? I'll let you spin again, right?
Yeah.
But Drew, thank God, Drew goes, no, those aren't the rules. You can't spin again. Because Drew said to me after, he's like, it's fine. Hit spinners twice, and because Drew was playing it up in the ring, but he's like, you got to let it go twice. Because I was just like, I just didn't want to do spinners twice.
But I do think, Kristian, and this is what I've said to you before, you have to eliminate the possibility for the morons to think things. So,
know.
That's impossible. What
know,
you
but
just said
No.
is impossible.
But how do I do it without that budget?
You can't eliminate it completely, but you can help it. You can help it.
Okay, but how do people go, because I asked somebody, I said, because I wanted legit suggestions. So I said to somebody, how would you suggest not doing digital wheel? Bring the regular wheel. Okay, are you going to send me the money it takes to break down that big wheel, plus hire
Ship
someone?
it.
Yeah, or ship it.
No, but I'm saying, you know how expensive it is to
ship it. That's first. Or have somebody, or break it down and put it in a case, and then I got to hire either Alex or somebody else to get on the plane. Then I got to pay for Alex's ticket. Then I got to put Alex up for 2 days or whatever it is to do. And Alex already goes. I'm just saying somebody else to do the wheel because they all have jobs.
Emma suggested dice, and I think that's a pretty cool idea.
Do you know how not
Cinematic.
entertaining
It's
that
better
is?
than people thinking that you're rigging matches.
I disagree.
You think it's better for people to think he's rigging matches?
No, I think it's better to do the digital wheel than rolling dice.
Yeah, because digital.
There is nothing worse than the digital wheel.
The digital wheel stinks, and it's one of the it stinks, but it doesn't. I'm not taking dice. Dice to me, like I'll figure out another way how to do it. Like someone suggested dartboards. Dartboards are even better than than dice.
No, because then you have to be good at darts.
I know, but it's just a matter of I don't. And someone's like, well, what about just the old wheel you used to have? Right? It just looks so shitty.
It's
it
a
looks
carnival
terrible.
wheel at a
I think
local
it's
bake
better
sale.
to have a small digital wheel that you can a small
Portable.
real wheel that is portable that we can zoom in on the camera and that the live audience they'll be more understanding of a small portable wheel than the digital one.
I
know you know
don't
that.
disagree
Yeah, I
with
know
you.
you know.
I hate the digital wheel.
I know
and
you do. I know.
the second I got back from Houston, I said to Thad, I said, we got to get rid of it. And he said, we can't.
Because
he's like, we legit can't get rid of it because of.
I know that the last thing you want is for hundreds, if not thousands, of people to be tweeting at you, messaging you that you're rigging something.
No, I know. I get
that's
it.
the last thing you want.
See, the digital wheel, it's just that to me.
It sucks.
Yeah, no, it does. That just made for me. It just. Like those people, I would never hire as writers on anything because it's dumb.
It is super dumb.
It's dumb because
but it's
the question is
still
like, wait,
unnecessary.
he
for you.
gets spinner's choice twice, rigged. Why would it be rigged? Yeah. That makes for rigging. You know what rigging would have been? That he would have gotten opponent's choice.
Yeah.
Because then it gets to the 5 and then oh my God, it's 5-pointer and it could be what's going to happen to Ben at his last 5 minutes. He could be eliminated from the league. And the horsemen come out. Like everything could have worked perfectly that way, but they didn't. The same reason why I put in the Facebook group the alternative of the storyline was like, oh well, the storyline happened that way. So obviously, there's 2 storylines every single time because the storyline was supposed to be. We rehearsed it. Roxy gets in the ring.
I was really sad.
I know.
About it.
Roxy gets in the ring. She hugs Andrew, and Ben's all pissed off because he just lost. And Rocha looks at Riley and goes, "I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm done. The guy lost. He blew it in a big moment. I'm out." And then Dan looks at Riley and goes, "I tried," and leaves. And then Riley starts to walk towards him and goes, "Fuck it," and stays with Ben and Dagnino. But in the meantime, Guy is like hugging Roxy in a way that you're like, that's not the way you should hug your best friend's ex-girlfriend. And then Ben sneaks up from behind. Roxy goes, "Look out!" Cracks him with the chair. We rehearsed all of it twice. So it's a matter.
And then we had to go over it on the pre-stage, and then we had to
Everything.
go outside and do it because I didn't understand the directions of
Right.
which way was left and which way was
That's
right.
right. But all that stuff. So
that's true.
I couldn't agree more. There just needs to be a way to figure it out. But nonetheless, the event was a hit. It was a smash.
Yeah.
It was sold out.
It just sucks when you put in all of that work for something, and then there's still people that's a bummer.
But it was
Kristian.
4%. It was 4%.
Yeah, but they're loud.
I know, but
that sucks for
But
you.
I also got a lot of the loud people who loved it, and I was very excited about when I was going through those comments how many people loved
If you
it. and
care about
understood
the
it.
vocal minority, get out of entertainment.
Yeah, no, I know. It was. You have to listen. Like, again, this is one of the things to where it depends on how are you yelling, because there's some people that were making comments the same way that Roxy did, to which I like, to where it's like, I get it, you guys are doing this, but is there another way to do it? That's a suggestion. That's a comment like, I deleted like at least 5 or 10 comments because I will delete comments that are just not
ignorant.
Yeah, because there's some people who make suggestions and it is fair criticism, and that's when you put yourself in a medium, then you should be subjected to that. That's fair. But there are ways that you do it that I don't have to listen to it. I can say get out of here, and there's nothing more that I love than when people are screaming and yelling like cursing and being disrespectful, and it's like a paragraph, and you catch it right away and delete it. That all meant they just wrote that for nothing.
Yeah,
that's so fun. That's so
I love
good.
that too.
But then
you gotta
there's
catch it quick though.
Yes, but then there's other people who legit put in criticisms and concerns, and you listen to them because they're what makes the audience grow. They're the passionate fans that care, and that's what we wanted to make sure that we did, and we did a lot of that.
Every time I think about like what could be better than the digital wheel, I'm like giant dice. Wait, you can't travel with those. Like giant lawn darts. You can't travel with that. Yeah, like because you have to make it cinematic for the camera and you have to make it cinematic for the crowd. Rolling dice, you can't put a camera on it. You just got to be like, it's a 6. It was like 6. Like you can't. It's a television production. You can't that's why they had giant dice on Price is Right. Like it's a game.
I also watch television and know things.
I know. I'm just saying, like rolling dice and then it according you can't roll dice.
I almost had Brad Gilmore.
I'm not trying to insult you, Roxy. I'm just saying it's got to be cinematic,
Yeah.
and rolling dice
production.
is not.
But Brad Gilmore also, who helped us out and got us the venue in the first place. I was going to a week beforehand see if he could purchase us a wheel to just have it there, and I was like, oh man, I looked into it. It was so expensive.
What are we actually talking? Like thousands?
By the guy that made us that wheel,
yeah.
he did that as a favor because he loved the show, and that is a single crafted wheel. There's nothing else like it in the world.
It would probably take. It would probably cost between all the work between $1,500 to $2,000 to put that whole thing together.
But what about a portable one?
A little shitty wheel. I mean that.
Not
again,
a shitty one, but a portable one.
A portable.
You're
I mean,
saying
if you're breaking it down to like you want to get a legit wheel that you can put all the stuff in to make it look good.
Yeah.
You're looking at least $1,000.
Yeah.
Plus flights and everything too. I mean it's not
One
cheap.
person carrying a case with a wheel.
Why don't we do a wheel specific, a traveling wheel specific, not Patreon, but like whatever those other things are called. It's not Kickstarter.
I know what you mean.
Like
GoFundMe.
And if they want it that bad, then they fund it.
Yeah, I mean that's the case. I mean that's another thing I told people. I said if for those people that had like good criticisms and people that were just screaming into the void, I said to those people screaming into the void, let me ask you a question: are you a patron? Yeah. Then because patrons I listen to all the way through. Not that I don't listen to the other fans who are giving criticism.
But
of
if
course
you're
I
paying
do.
for something,
but that's what I'm saying. The patrons are who I'm listening to for suggestions because they legit are putting it into every month, whether it's a dollar at the lowest tier or the highest tier. And then of course I'm listening to the other fans in general because they're the ones that are passionate about it. And not everybody can afford to put even $1 a month, and I get that. But there just needs to be there needs to be a change in it, and we're trying to figure it out. That's all I can say. But I don't want to take away from the actual event itself because it was great. Even though Rocha injured his foot, did you see that?
Yeah.
Rocha.
Yeah, I know.
Did you see Drew's face?
He busted his lip up in the rehearsals, but but that's the thing. That was the one that could have gotten that because originally we were going to put Drew through a table and it just didn't work out, right? But when that was the one out of anyone, when you asked me, high odds, Vegas odds, who was going to come out with an injury, Drew would be on the top of it. Mm-hmm. So Rocha comes out against Double Toast, and Double Toast, if you watch their match against Real Rejects, they hit Greg Albo over the head with one of the whiteboards, like kidding around. And so he did the same type of thing to Rocha, and Rocha wasn't expecting it. I didn't know what was happening either. He ran in and he kind of gave him like a fake punch, but he slammed his leg into slammed his leg into Rocha's leg, and it fucked Rocha's leg up bad. Rocha pulled a muscle. Rocha's also 75 years old, but still, he hurt himself. So the whole thing is blue. And last night he's like, I got to go to urgent care, and I'm like, holy shit! I'm
not really getting the visual. He kicked him basically.
So he ran, like
not on purpose.
Yeah,
but
no, he kind of ran after him, and it's on video. You can see it. It's if Alex was here. No. He's not. So anyway, I thought Alex was
coming. Did you forget?
No, he said he might come in, but anyway, It was. He sees him. He kind of runs at him outside the ring, hits him. But I think his leg slams into Rocha when he goes to hit him. So, but anyway, Rocha's leg was messed up, and
does he know?
Does Corey know?
Yeah.
He might now because he listens to the show. But we talked about it after the bar. I love Corey and Martin.
They're the best.
I love them. And
Are they here in LA?
No, they're in Austin. They're in Austin is where they actually live. And he
they had a crew with them too.
They did. Martin brought his daughters, and it was
that's fun.
Yeah. So Corey and I were talking after. Oh, double toasted and wild berries has to happen.
Okay.
100%. As a match, has to happen. But we were talking because they said, we're not the best at trivia. We just like to put on a show. I said, you guys are perfectly matched for wild berries.
And
That's been our
they were
slogan since
fine.
day one.
They were fun.
Yeah.
And we talked afterwards, and Corey was like, I want to come on Collider Live. He's like, because I listen to Collider Live, and I want to come on that show. And I was like, you and Martin are in whenever you are here.
Yep.
Yeah, they'll bring the house down, those two. They're the best.
I had the most fun with this crowd of all of the live events.
Did you? Yeah. It was a surprise. You got a big round of applause when you surprised.
I got the biggest of anybody.
You think so?
Say it what it is. Call
Okay.
a spade
That's
a
called
spade.
television
Yeah, you probably
production.
did.
That's
Yeah.
good.
That is?
Yeah.
And well, that part I don't understand.
Yeah, it's definitely.
So
Visual medium.
it was, I think it's mostly because they didn't know who I was going to be, but it was a really cool feeling. And then afterwards, I just felt like Collider Live is taking such a big
150K. Get us to 150K on that channel.
see.
people are loving it, and the crossover of like us now talking about kind of dropping our guards and talking about the other way that it could have gone. People tune into the show to hear more about that. Also, I just thought this group of people were so great.
Yeah. Wait, is this the beginning? This is where Corey. I think it was right before this. It was right before this.
Can we play this?
I thought
Yes,
no, he goes.
This is my video. I'm not gonna
I
flag
know,
anybody.
You don't have to flag it. YouTube has to flag it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's right before that. It's right before that. Yeah, there you go. All right, so right.
So nervous.
So
Christian.
So here he is. So Rocha's around the side.
He's
and
already
then-
kinda
so what?
limping.
Yeah, but what? Well, Martin runs at him. Actually, Corey runs at him, and then boom, like right there. He just that little moment right there. He slammed into his leg, slammed into John, and that was all it caused. John's fragile, man.
And
Yeah,
John
he's a
had no idea
fragile
that was
man.
going to happen?
No, and that's why
Was
you
he
can't-
pissed?
Mentally,
I don't know about
physically.
pissed, but it was thrown
Be
off.
honest. Was he pissed?
I mean, I think he was perturbed. Is that a word?
Yeah, perturbed.
Perturbed.
It's a good word.
Thank you. I think he was. I think he was a little miffed because that
Was
was
he pissed?
And I'm gonna beat that ass.
maybe.
He wasn't ready for
No,
it.
because I think that they took it out of him on trivia. But the matches himself, and that was the thing is that and so other people said too when they were looking. A lot of people again loved it, but for the criticisms of the
Not the
of
longest
wrestling
matches.
No, they weren't. But the criticisms of like, why would you go so heavy in the story? We were in a fucking wrestling ring.
Yeah.
Why would you hit someone with a chair? We were in a fucking wrestling ring.
Also, think about how long it would have been if we hadn't gone heavy into the
I
story.
know.
This would have been a 25-minute
That's
event.
So you can watch. Yeah, you can watch.
the
It would have been
shortest matches
short as
of all
hell. You can
time.
watch. You can go and you can watch it for those. There's a whole thing with these guys on Twitter. It's like, I appreciate that you are supporting and you love the trivia. Go and watch trivia and fast forward through everything else too. Don't tell me, oh, it's a waste of time for you, but not for everyone else who is doing this and having a lot of fun doing it. And for you. For you, it is. For everyone else, we're having a lot of fun doing it, and it's also the same people. It's like you're choosing not to watch it, so you wouldn't know if you liked it or not. Oh, I don't know that cheesy shit. Then don't fucking watch it.
Yeah.
It's like we're not changing because I would much rather sit in an office and just fucking slam my face into a keyboard and do bullshit nonsense from 9 to 8 than do a garbage bullshit trivia show that is generic garbage. Because eventually you watch it for a little bit and then you just fade out. Oh, that was fun while it lasted. It's the reason why we were able to do this since 2014 is because it is about characters. It is about evolving people. And to sit there and do a generic bullshit trivia, fuck that.
I've been
That's why
getting-
Trivia HQ is toast.
Questions about this, and I'm curious because I haven't asked you. Are you planning on leaning in more heavy to the get thrown through a table, chair, all of that?
No, that was just for the wrestling ring. And,
It's happened before. People have been thrown through tables.
but who did it?
But not in a wrestling ring.
No, but who did it though each time? It was Guy, right? So Guy's conclusion had to come inside of the wrestling ring to this thing. But I'm not like Rachel Cushing's never going to go through a table.
Not Rachel, but I'm saying in the future, do you not want to?
No. But if it sets your questioning is 100% valid, and I'm glad you asked it. But I'm just saying like if it serves the story. Maybe, but it doesn't. You can't just start doing it to where like, oh, you know what? There's a brand new. The Smasher's nickname is the Smasher, so he's going to throw someone through a window. We're not wrestling. Like the only reason that we did that is because Drew lost his cool and tackled Rocha in the biggest event of the year in 2017, right? And then what did he do? A year later, he betrayed his best friend and threw him and tossed him through a table. And so what happens in a wrestling ring when Booker T, the wrestling legend, invites you into his ring? We hit him with a chair. So we had a fun narrative with this thing. No, not everybody. You're not going to see
I'm hearing
Scott Mance doing flying elbow drop.
A lot of the competitors want to get involved in the. A lot of the competitors were talking about wanting to get involved. Is that something that you would that you would dabble in?
In physical stuff?
Yeah.
No, I don't want to.
Okay.
We don't have the insurance.
We don't have the insurance for it. We have the insurance. We have to go through a lot of stuff to get this done, and it was just because the whole point was just because it was a fun thing for the show, and we were in a wrestling ring. Makuga was going to be there, and the whole thing we were going to try to do was convince Booker T to throw him through a table because of his thing for wrestling.
Yeah.
And it was because we were in a wrestling ring. It's not because that's the next step. And it's just people are so short-minded sometimes, and it's why I would never have any of them ever work anywhere near me, because if those type of people are just like, well, you don't understand, like, we just want to watch people answer who directed Dunkirk. Boring. And again, why Trivia HQ lasted for a year, everyone was hyped up, and everyone just bailed.
I think it had a lot of different problems than just being trivia, because Jeopardy's been on the air for 35 years, and a lot of trivia shows last for a very long time. I mean,
Right.
Family Feud's been on forever, but that's a survey show.
It's a survey show in a certain demographic,
Sure.
but the difference is too, why has their ratings boosted? Because of
James
this guy
Holmes.
and this character and this guy who just came in here and he can't be beat, and it's
No,
the
I
same
agree.
thing like
I agree.
UFC, when you have when you have people knocking somebody out and all this, there's got to be something. It's the same
Totally.
reason, like that's why the Smasher Kevin Smets has become a big character, because he's coming in and he's knocking out everyone that he faces, right?
Yes.
But then you build a little an aura behind him, and it's the same thing. Because same thing with the gambler, you have him kind of going, you build story behind them. Yeah.
I saw more people who were into it than were not, though.
Totally.
Christian.
There was, and again, I would say 95% were into it.
Yeah.
But you have to also address, like, again, there's natural critiques, and there's people. I have never, and I will never, if someone says to me, not a big storyline guy, and I just rather watch the trivia.
Great.
Thank you.
You're still watching the show.
You're still watching the show, and I appreciate it. It's morons who yell and scream and discredit the work of the crew and the people putting the performances that I will always take umbrance with. But anyway, you can watch, if you want to watch the event itself, go check it out on the YouTube channel, youtube.com/the Schmoedown. There's a lot of news that we really haven't been able to get into. Is there any news, or not really? It's kind of short.
There's a little bit of news. We touched on the box office for sure. Favorite part of the news, it was Harrison Ford tongue in cheek. They were asked, who would you replace yourself with for
Nobody.
Indiana Jones? And he went, no one.
Yeah.
When I'm dead and gone, he's dead and gone. And he
That's
just
a
was
great
so
response.
great.
Yeah.
But it really kind of opened up that idea. Like, should you recast Indiana Jones?
Well,
I tend to agree with Harrison Ford. I wonder what it would be like.
I think Indiana Jones would have been better to recast than Han Solo. I
think so, huh?
Yeah, I think so. Now that was done and failed, I think you leave it alone.
Well,
Across the
Indiana
board.
Jones is more similar to Bond in the sense that it's about one character, so there's other people as well. But Han Solo is a cog in a massive machine. So I think that's why it's easier to recast Indiana Jones. But I would be so wary as an actor taking a role that I knew somebody alive did not want me to take.
Especially Harrison Ford.
Harrison Ford. Like, I don't know
Yeah.
who takes that job after Harrison Ford says no one.
No, but here's the thing though with that role also is that it's, and I said the same thing about Han Solo, and I still feel this way. It's not, and just to reiterate, Aiden Ehrenreich. Oh, I always get his name wrong.
Alden Ehrenreich.
Alden Ehrenreich.
Every single
I liked
time.
what you said better.
Aiden Ehrenreich.
Yeah, that's
Alden
pretty good.
Ehrenreich. It wasn't that his performance was actually really good. He just wasn't Han Solo, and that's more in the direction and everything too. It just wasn't Han Solo.
Yeah.
They could have made it a different character. It could have been a different Star Wars movie altogether. If they were gonna do a Han Solo movie, well then they should have tried to make a Han Solo movie. They should have tried to actually make him feel the way that you felt when you saw Han Solo. Don't tell me, well, he hasn't turned into that yet. Josh McCougar, I went back in time and saw him at 14 years old. The Josh McCougar I know today, he's not the same guy, but you're like, oh, there he is.
Mannerisms,
There
yeah.
he is. I see the 14-year-old McCougar that turns into the other guy. It's there. It's always there. That guy was not there as a younger Han Solo. It just never was. You don't just transform into a guy like, oh, well, 5 years from now, I'll shoot Greedo.
Yeah.
It's like, no. But I think that it's but you can find somebody. There are people out there that have that smolder, that have that kind of charisma. You just have to really look for it and want to look for it. And I think you can do the same thing for Indiana Jones.
People say I have a smolder, Christian.
You'd have a smolder. It's gone away since you've been married. Yeah, but that's happens.
Yeah, not really. Not from my vantage point here.
thanks.
Oh, look at you.
Speaking of smolder, did you guys watch the Game of Thrones documentary on Sunday?
Yes, I
No,
did.
I gotta
good?
watch
Oh,
it.
it's fantastic.
Is it
It was
good?
really
Is that
good.
where the Kit Harington cry comes from?
Yes.
Okay, because I
The
saw it on
table
Collider.
read
Yeah.
scene?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was really good.
Really, really cool.
Mostly because it felt like they didn't try that hard on the doc.
No.
They just kind of like let the
Did.
camera roll and showed
Love that.
Yeah.
people behind the scenes stories.
Honestly,
Was it Daenerys? So this is a spoiler for
Yeah.
Game of Thrones for you, so turn it off if you didn't see it. You've been warned. During that scene, when he kills her, they say "End of Game of Thrones."
Yeah.
Like, what do they mean? That wasn't the end of the episode.
No. It was like you saw it, and then it was like, then it was a fast forward. Like then they showed that scene, and then they showed the last word saying it wasn't.
It wasn't confusing when you watched the
No,
dog.
it wasn't okay.
Yeah.
'Cause I thought, to me, the way it seemed like that was like the final scene.
No.
The way they
okay.
cut that out, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. But what was really cool about the documentary was when they showed like what goes into making the Game of Thrones, and I think that was the point of it, all of that. But what was really cool was they followed this extra that had been in there since like season 5 or season 4.
Are you talking about the stunt man?
No, not the stunt man.
Oh,
The
okay.
guy that played the Night King?
Yeah.
No, not him. The guy that was the beard is part of the Stark Guard.
Oh yeah, that gives his jacket away.
That gives his jacket to Jon Snow.
awesome.
Like he's just a huge Game of Thrones fan. He was an actor. He was like down on his luck. He got this extra job. He's been on the show as a Stark Guard
Yeah.
in every episode that Jon Snow is in. He's in there, and his love of the show and what it is, and it just like boils down to you have all of the megastars, right? And they do their thing, but this documentary is more about the fans and the people behind the scenes that made this all effing possible. It was really, really
It was
cool.
so cool. I mean, they spend like 5 minutes on this guy whose job it is to place snow, and where he puts individual
Yes.
pieces of snow, like
Wow.
it's blown in.
Really?
And he's sitting there, and he's just like, it's very important. Like, figuring
He's
out
all
where
snow.
to put the
He's all
snow.
snow.
I got to check out. All right,
Yeah.
look, we're gonna go. We're gonna
great.
go to break. When we get back, Ryan Satin from Pro Wrestling Sheet is going to be in here. We're going to talk a little bit about Double or Nothing AEW. Figure out what he thought of it. He was at the event, and I watched a lot of it. And we'll talk about our thoughts on it. Can they give WWE a run for their money? We'll talk about it after the break. Collider Live.
Hey guys, Riley here, and let me tell you about Rule of Two. You looking for a Star Wars fix? Well, Rule of Two is that show. It drops on Collider Video's main YouTube channel, as well as on Podcast One's Jedi Council feed. So go over there, subscribe, share it with your friends. It's hosted by myself and Mark Fernandez. We talk everything in the Star Wars universe with a lot of deep dives and a lot of conversations that go all in. You know what to do. Subscribe, join us there, and rise.
Hey everyone, John Rocha here, the host of Collider Mailbag. A new episode drops every Saturday and Sunday in your face and in your ears, answering the questions from you fans about the world of entertainment, film, and television. Me and great guests from our sphere do the best to answer your questions from Twitter, from Instagram, and of course, email as well. Once again, it's every Saturday and Sunday on the Collider video feed, and also you can listen to us on podcast, on the Movie Talk podcast feed, every Saturday and Sunday.
Hi, I'm Coy Jandro, host of Collider Heroes, and I'm here to tell you we've got 20-minute episodes coming at you on Collider Video, on the YouTube, as you've always loved it. Plus, now we've got hour-long podcasts dropping every Thursday, so make sure to subscribe to the podcast because it's going to get even more sweaty on the podcast. Plus, every week, we're going to try to get some very special guest interviews, all of the people that help shape these movies and TV shows you love. So, video, podcast, interviews, all coming at you. Be sure to subscribe. Thanks so much, guys. Stay sweaty.
Hey guys, Perry Nemerov here to let you know that The Witching Hour is all over Collider right now. You can listen to that horror-filled podcast with myself, with Haley Fouch. We talk about witchiness, we talk about slashers, we talk about space horror, you name it, all on that show on the Collider Factory feed. We also have clips on the Collider Podcast YouTube channel, and on top of that, you can find an article all about Witching Hour every single Tuesday on Collider.com. Check it out, get scared. Hopefully you survive the Witching Hour.
What's up, Collider fans? Ryan Satin here from ProWrestlingSheet.com, where you can find the top stories throughout the week in the world of professional wrestling. If you're a wrestling fan like myself, then you'd be doing yourself a disservice by not checking out all the shows we do every week on YouTube.com/C/Wrestling Sheet. In particular, on Wednesdays, we've got a SmackDown recap show hosted by John Rocha and myself, where we pick apart and talk about every little thing that happened on the Blue brand. So do yourself a favor and go subscribe at youtube.com/C/Wrestling Sheet.
Hey guys, Perry here to let you know about the new edition of Collider Movie Talk. We are going to 5 days a week. We have a short, sweet 20-minute show where we focus on the 2 biggest stories of the day. You can expect to see all of your favorite Collider personalities on the show, including Jeff Snyder, John Rocha, Haley Fouch. You're getting Josh McCouga every Friday. We're going to have a blast. It's going to be informative, fun. Come join us, 3 p.m. PT live every single day of the week, right here on the Collider Video YouTube channel. You can also find the show on the Collider Movie Talk feed on our podcast network, so go watch, go listen, however you prefer to get all of your movie news.
Hey everyone, John Rocha here, the host of Collider Sports Time. Well, if you've been watching us every week, we break down the latest and the greatest in the world of sports, talk about the big issues, the big games, all of it with a rotating band of guests like Matt Nose and Josh McCouga. We've had Taylor Bisciotti on. We've had so many great guests. Now, if you want to see more of Sports Time or you want to try it out for the first time, remember to subscribe to Collider Sports YouTube channel. And if you want to take us along with you in your ears, you can go and subscribe to the Collider Sports podcast feed for all the sports goodness.
Hey guys, it's Riley here. Let me tell you about the Riley Roundtable. You know it, right? It drops every Thursday on Collider Conversations, and I have guests from all across the space. John Rocha, Gray Drake, Alexander Desplat came on at one point. We talk everything from movies, we talk about life, and everything in between. What do you want to hear? What do you want to talk about? It's the Riley Roundtable every Thursday on Collider Conversations. You get it there.
Hello, how are you guys doing? I'm Kristian Harloff. I'm the host of Collider Jedi Council. We talk about everything Star Wars, and if you want to catch our weekly show where we talk about the latest and greatest in Star Wars, it's movie news, it's canon, it's all of it. We take questions from you guys. How do you do it? Main channel, that's right here. Subscribe to this channel, and you can listen, you can watch, you can do all of it. But if you want to just listen to it, you got the podcast feed too. Stitcher, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever it is, you can listen to it in your car. Do all of it. It's Star Wars. Episode 9's coming out, and then after Episode 9, you got TV shows, so we're going to be your sports center for Star Wars. Do it. Come on. Be real. We're back, Collider Live, on this Tuesday, away from the holiday here, and joining us in studio, he is the creator, the owner of ProWrestlingSheet.com, and he's our wrestling buddy here in the offices. But he was also at AEW's Double or Nothing this weekend. I think I saw your lady in the crowd.
She got.
What does that mean?
Someone offered. I had tickets in the media section
because I was looking for you. I'm like, where the hell is that?
Because I got credentialed, and then like the week of the show, last week, someone hit me up. A friend of mine was like, "Hey, I have this extra seat. Do you want it? It's in the second row." I was like, "Yeah, definitely." But then I remember, right when I said yes, I remembered that my girlfriend was coming with me, and she didn't have a ticket. She was just gonna watch from her hotel room. She wanted to party in Vegas, so she was coming there. I was like, "Well, you can take my second row seat."
She was all over that.
Yeah, she was right up in there. She had great seats.
You gave her your second row ticket?
I'm a nice boyfriend.
Good boyfriend.
What? Is she a big fan?
She likes wrestling. Yeah, she likes wrestling. She enjoyed the hell out of it.
That's better.
Thank you for the applause, by the way.
Yes.
So where were you then?
I was in the media section. It wasn't bad. I'll be honest. I probably would have tried switching seats with her for like 1 or 2 matches if the ticket sucked. But
they were good.
The media section, it was perfect view of everything. Yeah, I didn't have a problem with it.
They're going to want you to cover it well. So they're going to.
Well,
give you nice
think,
seats.
but WWE doesn't always do that. So
WWE needs to get the shit together. I'll tell you that.
How many people were there in the media section?
In the media section?
Yeah.
Probably like 20, 30.
Yeah, it was a sold out event?
Maybe more.
Was the event sold out?
I don't think it was fully sold out because I know someone that was able to buy tickets outside. A friend of mine, Jamie, my co-host, his friend lost his ticket en route from one spot to the next, and so when he got to the arena, didn't have his ticket and had to buy another one.
Scalped it?
No, I think he bought it just straight up from the place. So I think there were some seats available.
It was,
and there was about total, I think, like 12,000, 13,000.
Well, I was telling Ryan about. So for those of you, even like I said, even if you're not a wrestling fan, this is a big thing for entertainment in general. Because back in the day, in the late '90s, WCW and WWE had this war. Now we're not anywhere close to that yet, but WWE and WCW had a war, and it's always good when you have competition. So this is the first time I feel, and Ryan might say differently, but it's the first time that I feel as someone has stuck their head up and gone, "Come on, WWE, I think we can give you a fight." And they're getting this deal. They have some money behind them now. They're starting to get some stars, and they have a very loyal fan base. And it just seems like there's an energy in the air right now for this. So I wanted to see what was going to happen when the actual event itself happened. Riley, who are we confirming our guest right now?
Yeah, somewhat. It's producer stuff. Sorry.
If that's the case, all right.
It is a producer thing.
All right,
I apologize.
Then maybe I'll wait for you to get done. Then we'll talk about it. But because I want to get everybody's thoughts on this because it's the event itself happened. And you could feel, like I said, it felt like a big boxing match. It felt like a big MMA fight. It didn't feel like another episode in a show.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the way that they and so here's what I told Ryan on the way in. He's like, "Did you watch it?" It's like, "Yes, mostly." Because I'm so used to streaming stuff now, and for the WWE Network, right, which I have, and I turn on something streaming, and I just rewind and watch it from the beginning. I haven't bought traditional pay-per-view in forever.
It's been a long while for me too.
Long time. So I go to DirecTV and I buy the thing, and it starts me right from Dustin and Dusty. And I go to rewind it. It goes, "You can't rewind. It's live. Watch it." And I couldn't rewind it. And I'm like, "This sucks." And I really realized how many matches I missed. But you told me I caught the 3 biggest ones.
Well, sometimes though, I remember old pay-per-view, it would replay again right after. So if you bought it didn't do that. No, that sucks.
How do you get it if you don't have that?
What do you mean?
Is there a digital way you can buy it?
did.
Yeah, they have a Bleacher Report live. It's their streaming service.
And how much was it?
I think it was the same, $50.
Yeah, it was the same.
So you should have done that.
I should have done that, but I didn't know.
Did you know? I mean,
I didn't know.
yeah.
I didn't know. I just turned it on.
It wasn't the most promoted thing. And to go back to the first thing you said before the Dustin thing.
Yeah.
You're right. They're so far away from any for there being a Monday Night Wars again.
But they tried. They took a shot.
This is definitely the first. You're right. This is the first group that is stuck their head up and been like, "Hey, puffed their chest out, like we can beat you." You know, it's been a while. I mean, the last time something like this happened was in the mid 2000s, something like that, when Eric Bischoff and Hulk Hogan went to TNA.
Right.
And Eric Bischoff was like, "Well, how do we compete with WWE? We go head to head with them." And they did that for 3 weeks and just got destroyed and tucked their tail between their legs, went back and never tried again, really. This is the first time where, it's the difference between then and now is that Cody Rhodes, the Young Bucks, Kenny Omega, they already are a draw. Hulk Hogan was so far past his prime. The people they were bringing in were past their prime. These guys have this young, cool factor.
Yes.
They have this hey, we're going to be hip. We're going to be cool. We're going to cuss. We're going to throw middle fingers. We're going to be like the wrestling you used to love before Vince just tried to make it just totally watered down.
Well, that's the magic point also, is because the other thing, that TNA reference that you said back in the day, they were going up against a WWE that was just, you couldn't beat them. The fans, the support was there, and they liked the product, the fans. The fans are starting to, even last night, Rocha was telling me they were screaming AEW in the crowds at WWE.
Yep.
And that's a good sign for AEW, obviously. Yeah.
Was he there?
What's it?
He
No,
across on
he was,
TV.
he was watching on TV.
You could hear it.
You could hear it. You could hear him doing the AEW chants. And the thing...
They even mentioned AEW on TV, which they never mentioned their competition on TV.
What did they say?
Sami Zayn straight up mentioned AEW. They had a segment where it was called the electric chair, and they were taking audience questions. And it seemed like they were taking shoot audience questions, real questions from the crowd that weren't plants, because they were expecting one of them to ask about AEW, but none of them did. Okay. And Sammy went these questions are awful. You guys could have literally asked me anything. You could have asked me about AEW, and then went oh, and then everyone went, oh, so I mean, it was scripted, obviously, but I mean, the fact that they're talking about their competition on TV after night one is their Google traffic doubled for AEW as soon as it got mentioned on WWE TV.
Why would they do that?
Afraid.
Gotten to, it feels like. It feels like, well, I have two opinions on it. Either it's a little bit gotten to, because they're taking straight shots at WWE. Or they're not worried about it at all. Or, like you said, they kind of want competition again. I think over the past 20 years, they've realized that, hey, wrestling's a lot cooler when there's two companies that are competing with each other, as opposed to just, one lone person at the top, And I think that Vince works better with his back against the wall. And so I don't know if maybe... I don't think his back is against the wall, obviously. Not even close yet. Not even close. Not nowhere near the wall. But I just think that a lot of shots were thrown, and I think he
one of the big shots, and Riley, you'll enjoy this too, because not even as a wrestling fan. So Triple H is known for sitting in this throne, and he has this throne that he kind of has done in many pay-per-views.
At WrestleMania entrances, he'll have this throne where he comes out
Very
looking
Game
like
of Thrones.
Yeah, Game of Thrones, Mad
People
Max.
carrying him, or
Sometimes, but
sometimes,
he's just
all
like
right.
this throne of wrestling. So Cody Rhodes came out his match against his brother, and he comes out, and there's this throne that is supposed to be the Triple H throne, and and he grabs a sledgehammer, which is Triple H's like go-to weapon, and he hits the throne and he blows it up, which looked ridiculous, by the way.
It did.
It looked very proppy. It looks like something you see in Universal Studios.
Yeah.
But it was a
Had
statement.
so much dust in it on purpose to look like it
Yeah.
had
But was
exploded.
the statement amazing, so it didn't matter?
That's what it was. It was the statement. And then the question is, how do you follow up with the match? And it's him and his brother and Gold Dust, who Dustin Rhodes they have this amazing match. And I don't know the story behind why they fought in the first place, if there was like a thing that led up to it. And that's what AEW is going to start to do, because they don't, for people who are just buying in this pay-per-view for the first time, there's just not, like, again, for me, I just didn't have a lot of story behind it. And the first thing I see is the ridiculous guy in the mask doing the commentary, which is like, you're going to turn a lot of people away from that right off the bat. He was a good commentator, but him commentating in the mask was ridiculous.
I mean, it's been done in like old school,
I
like
guess.
pro wrestling,
Yeah.
It's his thing. I don't know.
I know.
I'll be honest with you. I think he's a good announcer.
He is.
But I do think it does kind of make him look a little silly, but I think that's what he wants. I think they like
It is, but I'm just saying, for the first time someone's tuning in, like, let's say, because what they have been going after, and I thought they accomplished it inside the ring itself, was going after that the belts are going to count, the matches are going to count, the rankings will count. Sports-like, and it felt that way all the way through. So if you're telling somebody that for the first time, no, this is different than WWE. It's not just about the spectacle and the story anymore. It's about, the match itself. And then you get this guy in the mask. It looks ridiculous.
But I think the reason they put him there is for what you're saying, is that it's like, no, we don't care about this being like some pretty person who looks good on camera. This person can tell a story on the microphone over a match. And I think that's more why they have him there. And I think that's almost kind of like the message of like, hey, we're not WWE.
Right.
We've got black people all over the card. We've got transgender athletes. We've got a guy in a fucking lucha mask on commentary. So I think that like...
How are the women?
They left a little bit to be desired, the matches, I think. They had a really good surprise with a former Impact wrestler, Awesome Kong. She was also in WWE. She made a surprise appearance and was in the match. But yeah, something was a little off in the match. I don't know what it was.
Awesome Kong isn't from Glow, is she?
Yes, Awesome Kong was in Glow. She's a welfare queen.
We had her on Schmoedown.
Yeah, welfare queen.
Yeah. I didn't realize that she actually showed up to AEW.
She showed up. She's going to be wrestling there, it seems.
Oh,
You
wow.
missed that because pay-per-view.
Yeah.
I missed it. I missed it. Because I kept reading Awesome Kong. I'm like, it can't be. And so I'm good for her. She's awesome, by the way.
But and as far as the commentary, I haven't watched the broadcast yet. I literally am going to watch it after we do this, and then I'm going to do a full review with Jen Sturger on my YouTube channel. Cool. But and that'll be up later today. But youtube.com/c/wrestling sheet. But I can't say to how well JR and Excalibur did on commentary. Were they good? Did you like them?
I thought Excalibur was really good, and JR, there's like that nostalgia thing. You can tell it's like James Earl Jones. Like he's still the voice of Vader, but he's not Vader from '77. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's like it's still JR, and there was something.
It's like the voice of your childhood, but
Yes.
it's yeah.
But
it
do you
makes
think for new fans that works at all?
100%. And what else worked for me was Earl Hebner calling a match.
That was great.
Earl Hebner was a referee who is involved in many, many legendary matches. They had Bret Hart come out. Bret Hart presented the champion, which was a surprise. Nobody saw that coming. Did you know that was coming?
No.
Yeah, okay, so that came up. Bret Hart just got inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame again with the Hart Foundation. So that was a big surprise for him showing up. And then the biggest surprise, not to him, he knew it was going to happen to a lot of fans, was that Dean Ambrose.
Surprise to me too.
You kind of predicted it.
I just pointed
You saw
out
it
in his he had like a hype video, and in the background, one of the final shots, he's walking by the Viper Room logo, but it's dice that said 2-5 in the Viper Room logo, and that was the date of all of Double or Nothing.
Right.
So I just noticed it, but I didn't know for sure if he was going to be there. To be honest with you, I thought he wasn't going to be there.
Really?
I thought he was trying to like throw people off, and that's why he did that.
Well, he showed up, and it's John Moxley now. Is that his real name?
No.
No. What's his real name?
I think it's like John Good or
All right,
something.
but John
like that.
Moxley, and I guess he couldn't take Dean Ambrose with him. It's probably the WWE's name or whatever.
Well, John Moxley was his name before he was in WWE
And they made
for a
him
long
change it.
time, and then
Okay.
they changed it to Dean Ambrose.
Okay, so John Moxley, who was Dean
I
Ambrose.
like the way Dean Ambrose sounds better than John Moxley.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie.
Well, either way, and that character is Jeff Snyder, by the way, in the Schmoedown. Hands down. But John,
Perfect.
Yeah. So John Moxley comes out. He rushes out at the end of the match between Jericho and Kenny Omega, which I was surprised. It's a spoilers if you haven't watched it. Jericho takes the match over Omega. which is Omega's like this massive, huge star. And I thought about it. I was like, does this hurt Omega losing? It's like, it doesn't, because they're going to put him in this feud with Moxley. He's going to be in a huge feud with him, and Jericho will go and fight for the title, right? And they're going to, and he's going to put Hangman over, and Hangman will win the belt.
It's my guess.
Which makes sense. Yeah.
So there's going to be no crossover between the two. You cannot wrestle for both.
No, definitely not.
No, but you're going to see a lot of people start, like, if this thing starts to pick up. Yeah, because now they have this next pay-per-view, which actually happens the same day we're doing our New York event. August 31st is their next big pay-per-view, right?
Yep.
And then they're
Fight for the Fallen is their next. I don't know if that's on pay-per-view.
I think
Fight for the Fallen is their next event. It's I want to say July,
but
Also
August
in
30th.
June maybe. No, that one's in Florida. It's a little bit smaller of an event, and then the one after that is August 31st, all out.
Because the television deal starts in November.
October.
So that's when it's going to heat up. They're going to build up on these pay-per-views.
TNT?
That's TNT. That's when it's going to really start. And I think around the same time is when WWE goes to Fox.
Yes.
Okay. So
exact same time.
So you're going to see head-to-head. That's when the fight starts.
Yes.
And the fight's going to start big at that point. That's why they're building up. Because what they've done intelligently, I thought, so far, is that by everybody's talking about it, we're spending half an hour just talking about that pay-per-view for that show, and the word is out there. I mean, even as non-fan, you heard about AEW in the Twitterverse this week.
Yeah, I sure did.
It was going out. It's all over there. And that.
Yeah, I mean, I was surprised how people asked me about it when I walked. Like when you asked me about it, I know I had mentioned it here in the past, but the fact that it was on people's radar kind of surprised me. Yeah,
people want something new and something fresh because. And I'm a WWE diehard for a long time. The product is terrible right now. It's just terrible. The writing is so bad. It is so bad. The wrestlers are great. The talent that they have, it's not the talent. Sometimes when you go back to like early '90s and they only had like Bret Hart and a couple other people, and then you had Tatanka was like the second biggest star, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
That's not the case.
No.
Kristian, if they asked you to come right for them today, would you go?
No, I wouldn't want. I had too bad of an experience. AEW, I'd consider.
Really?
Yeah, I'd consider AEW over WWE.
I don't think AEW has a writing team.
That's probably another reasons too, as far as booking and stuff too. Like they let the wrestlers kind of do their thing.
That's kind of what they're trying to do right now. Like the booking team is Cody, the Bucks, and Tony.
And I love that. And I think that's one of the things like when I was there, it started to transition out of this. One of the things that they do now is they give the wrestlers monologues, and they want them to they want them to be actors, like from start to finish. Hit this, hit this, hit this, and they can't go off and do their own thing. Can you imagine telling Dusty Rhodes and Michael P.S. Hayes and all those guys back in the day,
go say this,
and don't cut your own stuff?
They literally throw the paper in your face.
And boring.
Yeah.
And boring.
I used to work for a small wrestling company, and even then I hated telling them what to say. Like, hey, here's the piece of paper. It made me feel so stupid because it was like these guys should be flexing that muscle on their own. So here's words if you need them, but I loved when they went on their own and did it.
Why is it closer to improv than scripted? Why would you
because
rather?
Because there's emotion behind it, it's like and I think that people
it's bullet points.
But the wrestlers that people remember, the Hulk Hogan's, the Ric Flairs, the stuff you go like those, the Macho Mans. Nobody was writing that stuff for them, and so that's why people look at them as legends of the industry because they were able to kind of work on their own and do it on their own.
But you gave them bullet points. They always had bullet points. Like Vince would say to them, like, okay, Hulk or
it would be like, this is where we need to go.
Yes.
This is where we're going. Get us there.
And that was still there a little bit when I was there for sure. It's okay, look, the main points that we got to get, and hit it quick, hit it. It's same type of thing. Like, I'll trust Andrew Guy. I'll trust Rocha. If I'm going to say, okay, I need you to hit this in 3 minutes, and I need you to hit this, this, and this, go. Like, there's other people in Schmoedown that I'll have that I'll have to really like. Sometimes,
I tried, guys.
Sometimes I say do this, and they'll go for like 7 minutes and just go and go and go, and it's like,
Tom
oh my
Dagnino.
god, no. But anyway, but you got to make sure you also got to know who to trust and what to do and what points, and that's on you as a storyteller.
I also think it's similar to like if Kristian came in here and was like, here's what I need you to say on Collider Live every day, you wouldn't come across. It'd be like Kristian through you.
Right.
So sometimes these characters don't get across these larger than life personalities because it's some dork who typed this thing out for them, telling them what to say.
They're handcuffed. But AEW, the wrestling was fantastic. The Young Bucks, the only thing with the Young Bucks match for me when it was happening was I thought there was too many moments that were like looked like finishers that everybody was kicking out of. And I'm like, as I'm watching, I'm like, well, it just kind of takes away from if they ever hit a finisher on anybody, and anybody can kick out, it takes away from the finisher itself. But it was a moot point, or it was a very small point.
And that is the indie style these days.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I think the fact that you saw the final three was perfect because they did do a good job of like showing they have something for everyone. They had the old school match in Cody and Dustin for Dusty Rhodes. They had the young indie style match with the Young Bucks and Pentagon Jr. and Phoenix, and then they had like a typical main event match that you would see that maybe is the similar to what you'd see in WWE, but just less gaga and more just like
it was
the
more.
match.
It was intense, and it seemed like anything could happen, and they weren't holding back, and there were no. They weren't concerned, like you said, middle fingers, language, like those types of things. It was a little bit more raw for sure. It is more the adult version than it is like the PG version that WWE has gone to, and that's a different conversation altogether. I think sometimes you need that type of brand because you want it for kids, but the AEW doesn't necessarily want to do that. The other thing I really liked about this, and I got to tell you, is back in the day when you watched Ted DiBiase and these guys, these guys that just weren't in. They were in shape, but they were in like these cut wrestling bodies.
They look like men.
Dude, these guys in AEW, like even Cody Rhodes and Dustin Rhodes and the Young Bucks, they're not in ripped cut shit. Kenny Omega's pretty cut, but the rest of these guys, even Jericho now at almost 50 years old, they're not. They
look more like regular
people. They look like dudes, like running around. But they certainly their endurance is out of control. But I liked that. It reminded me of the old school days, but it was the way that they treated the matches. The matches were far superior than anything that I've seen in WWE in a long time. And I think WWE is going to have to look over their shoulder if they continue to put on shows this way, and depending on how that product comes out in October.
Yeah, no, me too. I actually, if you are one of the people who watch Double or Nothing, I recommend you go check out our YouTube channel. I was in the press room after the show, and it was cool hearing Dustin Rhodes and Tony Khan and Dean Malenko and Hangman kind of talk about the show, what they thought about it and plans for the future. But specifically Tony Khan, he's the president of the company, and to see that he's like an enthusiastic wrestling fan who seems to have a great idea of what wrestling can be again. It's very encouraging. Yeah.
Yeah, because
what was the energy like in the room for the people that were there in your position, media position? What was the conversation amongst you guys?
In the media room or during the show?
Both.
Well, during the show, to be honest, it was very positive. I think that everyone was. It was one of those shows where people were looking for reasons to hate it. They were ready to pounce and nitpick and do all these things. And for the most part, everyone there was happy. It was one of the themes of the show, really, in my opinion, was fan service. Like, it was very much like Endgame, where they gave you the things you wanted to see because you would spend all this time with all these characters. And they didn't just try and, like, swerve you for the sake of swerving you. And so this was really like hey, you wanted to see these guys wrestle for a long time, not dumb storylines or this and that, like
predictable stuff, cliched bullshit.
This is gonna be a cool thing that's gonna get you excited.
Clean finishes.
Yeah, and so I do think the media section was very positive, and same for after the fact in the media room. I think that everyone, it was a very positive energy. I mean, Dean Malenko, who's a producer and senior coach there now,
that one I told you about before.
Yeah.
He quit WWE to come here, to go to AEW. Jon Moxley, for also kind of like was offered probably like a lot of money. Like, he turned down millions of dollars to go to AEW just so he can like be himself. And so I think like that kind of stuff is infectious.
You think AEW is paying him infinitely less than WWE was
I wouldn't
offering?
say infinitely less, but I think that
probably give him a stake in the company too, right?
I wouldn't say a stake in the company, but I think they're paying him well. I think that it just depends. In WWE, you make so much with merch, and he was a merch pusher. Like, he was someone who made a lot of money in merch. So I don't know what he was making, but I know they offered him a lot of money to stay.
What do you think realistically? What do you think he's losing realistically?
Maybe a couple $100,000.
Yeah, and the thing is too, if he gets this thing to the top, you can see the thought process. It's I'll take that hit right now, but if I'm the guy, and if I start main event and I'm going to be fighting against Kenny Omega, they're going to put each other over for a while, and then you got to give him the strap eventually, Moxley, right? So then he did something good. He got himself in shape because he wasn't in shape for a long time.
The whole time they were paying him too, because he was doing it while he was injured.
Right. So anyway, the point is, and he won't be the last WWE star to come over.
No.
Before we go here, who's the next WWE star you think is going to come over? And then give me your best and worst match of the night.
Luke Harper will be the next one to come over. I was rereading Cody's statement when he left WWE, and Luke Harper is one of the people he specifically thanked in the thing and told him to kind of like keep your eye on the locker room type stuff. So Luke Harper has already asked for his release. Apparently, they've reportedly tacked on extra time to his contract because of injury time that he was out.
So they know he's going to go.
so they know he's going to go. So that's my guess. Luke Harper, and best match of the night was definitely Dustin versus Cody. I think that
good emotional tag too.
It was old school wrestling. There was blood. There was emotion because of Dusty. There was the post-match thing where they kind of recreated an old promo that Dusty did with Dustin, and this time it was Cody doing it with Dustin, and they hugged, and they're going to be tag team again. So it was very emotional. So I would definitely say Cody versus Dustin match of the night for me. Luke
Any
Harper.
of the women coming over?
Sasha?
I mean, I'm sure they'd like Sasha Banks to come over. I don't know. That's one where I do feel like they need one or two big stars in the women's division to kind of help fill it out. I think that was one of the areas it was most lacking, Double or Nothing. As much as the women's match was good, it was cool to see Awesome Kong back. As far as women, I mean, Sasha Banks would be the most likely.
Yeah.
But
who knows?
Who knows with her?
All right. Well, Ryan Satin, thank you for joining us. Make sure you check out Pro Wrestling Sheet. You can find him on Twitter, as well as Pro Wrestling Sheet on Twitter, and to check out the YouTube. And we are going to be right back. And when we get back, we're going to be talking to actor Matt Barr. And we're excited for you guys to stick around because a lot of cool stuff coming up. Just stick by after the half an hour.
Hey guys, Riley here, and let me tell you about Rule of Two. You looking for a Star Wars fix? Well, Rule of Two is that show. It drops on Collider Video's main YouTube channel, as well as on Podcast One's Jedi Council feed. So go over there, subscribe, share it with your friends. It's hosted by myself and Mark Fernandez. We talk everything in the Star Wars universe with a lot of deep dives and a lot of conversations that go all in. You know what to do. Subscribe, join us there, and rise.
Hey everyone, John Rocha here, the host of Collider Mailbag. A new episode drops every Saturday and Sunday in your face and in your ears, answering the questions from you fans about the world of entertainment, film, and television. Me and great guests from our sphere do the best to answer your questions from Twitter, from Instagram, and of course, email as well. Once again, it's every Saturday and Sunday on the Collider video feed, and also you can listen to us on podcast, on the Movie Talk podcast feed, every Saturday and Sunday.
Hi, I'm Coy Jandro, host of Collider Heroes, and I'm here to tell you we've got 20-minute episodes coming at you on Collider Video, on the YouTube, as you've always loved it. Plus, now we've got hour-long podcasts dropping every Thursday, so make sure to subscribe to the podcast because it's going to get even more sweaty on the podcast. Plus, every week, we're going to try to get some very special guest interviews, all of the people that help shape these movies and TV shows you love. So, video, podcast, interviews, all coming at you. Be sure to subscribe. Thanks so much, guys. Stay sweaty.
Hey guys, Perry Nemiroff here to let you know that The Witching Hour is all over Collider right now. You can listen to that Horrorville podcast with myself, with Haley Fouch. We talk about witchiness, we talk about slashers, we talk about space horror, you name it, all on that show on the Collider Factory feed. We also have clips on the Collider Podcast YouTube channel, and on top of that, you can find an article all about Witching Hour every single Tuesday on Collider.com. Check it out, get scared. Hopefully you survive the Witching Hour.
What's up, Collider fans? Ryan Satin here from ProWrestlingSheet.com, where you can find the top stories throughout the week in the world of professional wrestling. If you're a wrestling fan like myself, then you'd be doing yourself a disservice by not checking out all the shows we do every week on YouTube.com/C/Wrestling Sheet. In particular, on Wednesdays, we've got a SmackDown recap show hosted by John Rocha and myself, where we pick apart and talk about every little thing that happened on the Blue Brand. So do yourself a favor and go subscribe at youtube.com/C/Wrestling Sheet.
Hey guys, Perry here to let you know about the new edition of Collider Movie Talk. We are going to 5 days a week. We have a short, sweet 20-minute show where we focus on the two biggest stories of the day. You can expect to see all of your favorite Collider personalities on the show, including Jeff Snyder, John Rocha, Haley Fouch. You're getting Josh McCouga every Friday. We're going to have a blast. It's going to be informative, fun. Come join us. 3 p.m. PT live every single day of the week, right here on the Collider Video YouTube channel. You can also find the show on the Collider Movie Talk feed on our podcast network, so go watch, go listen, however you prefer to get all of your movie news.
Hey everyone, John Rocha here, the host of Collider Sports Time. Well, you know, if you've been watching us every week, you know we break down the latest and the greatest in the world of sports, talk about the big issues, the big games, all of it with a rotating band of guests like Matt Nose and Josh McCouga. We've had Taylor Bisciotti on. We've had so many great guests. Now, if you want to see more of Sports Time or you want to try it out for the first time, remember to subscribe to Collider Sports YouTube channel. And if you want to take us along with you in your ears, you can go and subscribe to the Collider Sports podcast feed for all the sports goodness.
Hey guys, it's Riley here. Let me tell you about the Riley Roundtable. You know it, right? It drops every Thursday on Collider Conversations, and I have guests from all across the space. John Rocha, Gray Drake, Alexander Desplat came on at one point. We talk everything from movies, we talk about life, and everything in between. What do you want to hear? What do you want to talk about? It's the Riley Roundtable every Thursday on Collider Conversations. You get it there.
Hello, how are you guys doing? I'm Kristian Harloff. I'm the host of Collider Jedi Council. We talk about everything Star Wars, and if you want to catch our weekly show where we talk about the latest and greatest in Star Wars, it's movie news, it's canon, it's all of it. We take questions from you guys. How do you do it? Main channel, that's right here. Subscribe to this channel, and you can listen, you can watch, you can do all of it, but if you want to just listen to it, you got the podcast feed too. Stitcher, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever it is, you can listen to it in your car. Do all of it. It's Star Wars. Episode 9's coming out, and then after Episode 9, you got TV shows, so we're going to be your sports center for Star Wars. Do it. Come on. Be real. Cody's rocking it in the booth right now, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah,
We're back.
what is that?
It's Collider Live, and joining us today, he is star of Blood and Treasure. It is new action-adventure television series. Matthew Barr is here. Hey, Matt, how you doing?
Thank you, Matthew. There you go, Mom.
Nice.
There you go, Mama.
Matthew, how are you, man? So it's good to have you, man. How you doing?
Thank you. No, it's good. It's good.
So tell me a little bit about the series here, Blood and Treasure.
Blood and Treasure is the new age Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
It's a, global treasure hunt show where my co-star and I are looking for the sarcophagus of Cleopatra and Antony, and we're also chasing this terrorist who's also looking for the treasure. So it's sort of a race against time, and we shot this thing all over the world.
Damn.
Where'd you go? Like what places?
We were all over Italy,
Awesome.
in Rome, up in Turin,
Good gig.
Venice. right. Not a bad gig.
Yeah,
Not
dude.
a bad gig at all.
Yeah.
We're in Morocco, which is a incredible place.
Yeah, man.
It's like made for cinema.
Because they shot a lot of Game of Thrones in Morocco. Anytime they were in
Oh,
like
did they?
Dorne.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like you don't have to do much with the extras and background. It's like real cobras and
Damn.
camels and shit like that.
Well, that's the thing. So, and we were just talking about it before the break. We were talking about how Harrison Ford came out and talked about Indiana Jones and said that he doesn't want to see anyone else play Indiana Jones.
Yeah, I saw that.
And we started talking about it, and we're like, a lot of us are like, yeah, no one should. But to have series that are like that, and to have series that things that you enjoy and that you kind of take back and go, oh, that reminds me of. I think that's a better way to go. So you find yourself in a gig like this.
Of course, and
Yeah.
we're always like paying homage to the OG,
Right.
Man, I wouldn't touch a new Indiana Jones with a 10-foot pole.
Yeah.
It's like sacred ground.
So
right
it's like
there.
you were saying.
Yeah.
All
But,
saying the
but
same
you know,
thing.
a lot of the DNA of that show and Romancing the Stone and things like that is all throughout this show.
Yeah.
So I think it's more of like paying respect to your.
Man, Romancing the Stone, haven't heard that title in
Right?
so
It's a
damn
good
long.
Jewel of the Nile. man.
I was
Jewel
really
of the
like
Nile.
anyone born after 1990 is like, what are you talking about?
Oh, that's me right now.
You don't know Romancing the
Michael
Stone?
Douglas.
I'm only because you guys have mentioned it on the show multiple times, and then I had to go IMDb it. You shot all over the place. Does that mean you shot most of this baby, or how far into it are you?
Yeah, we're done. We're done. We wrapped around Christmas actually.
Wow.
And so we shot like one long movie, all out of order. Constantly on the move. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah. So so for fans right now who are hearing about Blood and Treasure for the first time, where are they going to be able to find it?
CBS tonight. Yeah, Tuesdays at 10 Pacific. I guess 9 Central.
Awesome.
On Tuesday nights.
Tuesday nights, and that's got to be a crazy experience too. Because so tell me about it as far as getting the role, hearing about it, and then saying, yeah, this is something I want to do and try.
I was doing another series at the time called Valor, and I was in Atlanta, and I remember a press release just coming out. I read it, and it was like, CBS buys Blood and Treasure, and I thought, that is like the greatest title ever, and that's my dream show. I'm so jealous of whoever gets to go do that. And one door closes, another opens. Valor got canceled, and then this show was still out there, and I thought, I got to chase this.
Yeah.
So I I chased it like a mother.
And, isn't that crazy though? How just like little signs like that, like you said, it just stuck with you, and then you just said, so what do you call your reps and say, get me in that room?
Exactly. And I think that they wanted like 100 different guys and just different angles or directions to take this character, and finally it sort of circled back to me.
That's it.
You have a real McConaughey vibe.
All
too.
right.
I mean, you're a Texas guy, obviously.
I'm a Texas guy.
Yeah, but
Sure.
you have that McConaughey vibe. I mean, Fool's Gold. I know people
Fool's-
like
there-
Fool's Gold,
there you
but I
go.
like Fool's Gold. Yeah.
I said that to our writer once, like, this is kind of a little bit of Fool's Gold too, and he's like, shut up. No, it's not.
Don't say
it's
it
okay.
again.
Oh, it's a good movie.
Where are you from in Texas?
Born and raised in Big D in Dallas.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Uh-oh. See,
So
we won't talk football.
Where are you?
I'm a Giants guy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm out. Thank you very much
See
for
you
this.
later.
I'm not serving you guys.
Friends of friends.
Friends of friends.
Friends of friends. That's how Matt got. We kind of got connected. I'm friends with a guy. Remember when we brought in Yada Martinez, right?
Of course.
And Yada Martinez is on
right.
the pilot with Stephen Dorff,
Yep.
the sheriff that's coming out. Same friend.
Oh,
We're
great.
good friends with Stephen Dorff. Friends with Matt.
Yeah.
All
My
Dallas
best buddy,
guys.
Ryan Ross.
Yeah,
Yep.
There you go.
Yep.
Good dudes.
Well, tell me a little bit about the character though that you play. I know you said, like you said, it's an adventure, it's an Indiana Jones thing, but you specifically, what's the character all about?
He's kind of a unique type of hero. His life's mission is saving and preserving art and culture.
Yeah.
That's why he's a treasure hunter, because art and culture is his identity.
Belongs in a museum.
Yeah.
Exactly. and yeah, exactly. So I don't know, I found that to be noble and like an exciting kind of take on a new hero.
So he's a good guy.
He's a good guy, and what's funny is that he's a little bit of a square that plays within the boundaries of what's right and wrong, very very black and white. And
Yeah.
my co-star, who's my ex-lover in the show, is the exact opposite.
tell me about the co-star.
The ex-lover comes full
The
back
ex-lover.
around.
Yeah, so let's hear about the co-star.
So the amazing Sophia Pernis, and she's breaks all the rules.
She's got the edge.
Never goes in the front door.
Yeah.
Has to crash through the skylight. Definitely has the edge. And,
Right.
And so we make a good team that way, because sometimes you gotta. I think to get shit done, you got to break the rules a
It's
little
the
bit.
truth. And one of these questions, I mean, we just had last week, we had on Mina Mustad, who plays Aladdin. We talked about how the main thing is with these roles, you've got to have chemistry. Because if you don't have chemistry, if you don't buy it, the audience isn't going to buy it. So
That's right.
when you meet Sophia and right away, like, you guys going to get cups of coffee, like, what's the process for you guys to say, like, okay.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
That's it.
We actually met before this at like literally a few months before this casting process at this veterans event. We both were on military shows.
Yeah.
And I just connected with this amazing woman,
Yeah.
And there was dancing and music, and we just we danced well together, And I thought, man, I could, I could dance to this one. So, and then it's pretty amazing when the stars align.
And then did you guys see each other from then until you guys both got cast?
No. She got cast early on because she's born to
passing in
play
the
Lexi.
night.
I know. So I thought,
Yeah.
and it's funny. I remember reading the script and thinking that actress I just met is so perfect for this Lexi character. And
Yeah.
Here you are.
I have great taste, I
Yeah.
guess.
Well, you just got a good vision, man. You read that article, you see the title, you get it. I got to take you to Vegas with me. That's what I need you to do, for sure.
That's good.
Yeah, it's true. So as far as the show, obviously, and then October it comes out, or September?
No, it's out right now.
Oh, it's out right now.
It premiered last week.
It premiered last week.
On
Okay,
Tuesdays.
great. Okay, great. So it's out last week until Tuesday. That part I got on CBS.
You just thought he was plugging Tuesday in October?
I thought maybe it was a brand new show that he was pushing.
Actually,
it's on right now.
I should
last
say
week.
too. It's also on Amazon a week after it airs on CBS.
Well,
so
there you go.
For those of us that
So we got somewhere.
don't have cable.
You did that, Kristian. You did that.
I did, but I got back there.
Yeah.
I got back there. So
Take that credit.
Oh,
Welcome
cool.
to Collider Live, Matt.
This is it, man.
This is it. This is the show.
Well, yeah, and this is also Makuga, who gives me notes and just says he's got a show coming up, Blood and Treasure.
I have a question
Yes.
because I was trying to tag you on Twitter when you were coming in for the show. Are you not a social media guy?
Not too much of a social media guy, but I'm trying to evolve.
Yeah.
I think
How come?
Because
Because he's a star of a television show now. He's got you want to be out
searching
there
for
and
blood
doing
and
a show.
treasure.
But he's got to
actually.
promote that it's on Tuesday nights now, not in October. He's got
That's
to tweet
right.
about that.
growing up I was a fan first before I was an actor, and I thought the mystery of the actors was so cool because you could buy into what they were doing on film. And now that we know what everyone eats for breakfast and when they take a shit, it takes a little bit of the magic away from me. So maybe it's sort of that slow Slow evolution.
I don't
for me.
disagree with you. I don't disagree. I think sometimes we get a little too caught up in social media too. But I think that the reason that I'm on, because I happen to feel the same way you do, but the reason is because this, and I got to promote and I get shows, and that's the thing. Do you feel like you said, you got to feel it's almost like you said you feel you got to be better at it, but it's not necessarily better as much as like just part of the job.
Yeah, it is. But there is an upside. Like it is fun to like connect with people and see what friends, family, or your heroes are doing.
Right.
So I guess there's a part of it that is pretty cool.
And I think it's also when you have a show, it's like it's like the catch-22. You want to see what people are saying about it, and sometimes you don't want to see what they're saying about it. So it's like every episode that we do about this show, it's like what are they saying? I don't want to see.
I mean, can you imagine being the Game of Thrones guys? Everybody you think you're going in, and then people don't like it.
I know.
And then
they wanted to bail. They wanted to bail on the last. They said we're going to shut off from social media after the finale. They should have shut off after episode 3.
I know.
Yeah,
I hear that.
Yeah. Do you? So what about as far as just television or movies in general? You got. Are you a big movie TV guy? You're more an outdoors guy and don't pay attention to the mediums.
Oh hell no! I love movies. I like a full circle journey, beginning, middle, end. But I mean, no, it's the age of TV. There's some good stuff out there. Game of Thrones.
Yeah, that's right. But what about movies? What kind of movie? What's the last great movie you saw?
That's a good question. Yeah. Damn, I love action adventure stuff.
Yeah. Did you watch John Wick 3 yet?
I haven't. I'll see it before I see it this weekend. Yeah, I'm a big.
If you like action adventure, what a great series of movies those have been so far. Yeah.
Because I mean, growing up, Keanu, like Point Break, and then Speed, being like a 9-year-old, seeing Speed was like the greatest movie ever.
It's great.
Speed. We were saying it. It's my favorite action next to Die Hard. I think Die Hard and Speed.
Yes.
Are perfect movies,
it was Die Hard in a bus.
Yeah, it was
Die Hard, Speed, The Rock, and True Lies. And like I could on an island, I'd be okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, now we got True Lies coming out as a TV show on Disney Plus, which is crazy, man. We're excited about that too.
All right, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it comes out. I get skeptical sometimes because we want the things that we love, and we were talking about earlier with Indiana Jones. We don't want it to get touched, but you have new renditions, and you have something like we said here, Blood and Treasure.
But they come to you. So they come to you. Let's just say the people like Harrison Ford is in the room, and he goes, "Matt, listen, this is I'd like you to play Indiana Jones. You haven't even seen a script." It's just Indiana Jones, Zemeckis, Spielberg. They're in the room.
If Harrison Ford says it?
Harrison Ford. He's there. I know he said
Well,
the other
if
day.
he says it, then
What do you?
You say yes.
Yeah, exactly.
What
Bet
if
your ass I'll do it.
what if you don't have his blessing, but every other part is in place?
Yeah.
See, that'd be tough. I mean, that would be tough. I remember when they were remaking Point Break, and I was like, in the mix for that, and it was like, this would be cool, but my God, this is the wrong thing to do, I think.
I think you made the right choice.
I don't know.
I think you made the right choice.
I
for that
mean,
one.
when you look at it though, it's kind of like it came and gone. It came and went so quickly.
Yeah.
The thing that pisses me off so much about the second Point Break is that when I see Point Break on TV on my guide, I'm like, yes, there goes my afternoon. This is amazing. And then it's a new one. I'm just like, son of a
Right.
bitch.
Right.
True. Yeah.
Yeah. So the other, and did you say you had a game?
What's that? Oh yeah.
You had a game. You had a game.
I like games.
All right. So listen, the show's called Blood and Treasure. All right. So we're gonna play a game called Blood or Treasure.
Makuga style.
Okay. All right. It's an
I picked
either
treasure.
or game.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is that the game?
So Blood.
Treasure, definitely.
You got Treasure.
I
Okay.
win.
So I'm gonna give you some real life stuff, and then I'm just gonna give you movies. And if it's blood, you throw it in the blood. It's treasure. You keep the treasure.
All right.
All right. Climbing Mount Everest. It's been in the news lately.
Blood.
Yeah, I'm not
You should talk about that.
There's no
Who
way
wants
I'm
to do that,
climbing
you
Everest.
guys?
Absolutely.
I would get exhausted. I get exhausted looking at just footage of it.
I'd rather like swim with a great white shark.
So blood
Take
means
my chances.
no, treasure means yes,
Yes.
essentially.
Yeah. Are you with us?
Yeah. I wasn't for a minute, but now I'm back.
Roxy has trouble with a lot of things, mostly directions.
Right.
So
Oh,
she's
she would get lost on that
Yeah.
mountain immediately.
Blood and treasure. You
Yeah.
guys are looking for treasure.
But
She'd be lost in.
I
in
think
the
I,
middle of
She'd
something.
fall
I
off the
think
mountain.
treasure because I would think that I did a great job even when I didn't.
Oh.
So like I thought that I got to the top of the mountain.
Right, but it was
But
just-
I didn't.
No, you got to
so
the
I'm
first
alive
layer.
and fine.
Right.
But I'm like, oh, I did it. Here I am. Boom.
Right.
and
You
then
run
I'm
out of
back
air
down.
before you even
Yeah.
had a shot.
Yeah,
All
totally.
right. What's the next
All
one?
right, second. Being lost in the woods. Blood, treasure.
Treasure. I like the adventure of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I can do like I'm golf courses about as outdoorsy as I get.
I'm like a bear. Like I think my man crush is Bear Grylls, so for sure. Although you know what's funny is I think I wouldn't make it long. I could be like, I can do it. You just got to catch the snake, eat it, drink its blood.
But you
can
give it a
survive.
shot.
I'll give it a shot.
See, I would
until
give it a shot.
Do you think you can start a fire in the woods with just like the
That's the
sticks
thing,
around
right?
you?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yes, I
It's like
Right.
in theory, it sounds
We
great.
like to think
Were
that we
you,
can.
were
We like
you
to
a Boy
think.
Scout ever?
I was a Boy Scout for
So you
a
could
minute.
do it.
Yeah, I mean, in theory,
I
yes.
did 1 year of Cub Scouts.
I'll tell you
I
what.
can live in the woods.
If it makes you feel better, if we were all lost in the woods, I'm following him before I'm following any of you two.
Totally.
I'm amazing in the woods. I can't get us out of the woods, but I can keep us surviving the woods. I was a Girl Scout for
chance.
13 years. Are
Really?
you
You'd
kidding?
be
I
able
can
to start
tie
a
all the
fire?
knots. I can
Really?
start a fire. Yeah. I'm an amazing camper. I've got all the
Yeah,
gear.
all
I
right.
love to camp, but I can't
We
get
just
out
have
of
to.
the woods.
You just have.
Yeah, you
We would have to
find
take
me.
you to the campsite.
I can help us survive, but oh God, can I find
All
anybody?
right, I'll trust you on that.
Yeah, I'm really
the
good.
Makugas were not a camping people.
No.
We're
Okay.
not- No. My dad. I mean, I
watched Blair Witch. That's about it.
Yeah, no way.
That's about it.
I mean, and like the strangers don't even go in the woods. What are people doing in the woods?
No,
Anyway, okay,
woods
here
are
we
too
go.
scary. Too many animals in the
All
woods.
right, blood or treasure? Going on a treasure hunt with your mom.
Treasure. Sure. I have a cool mom. Be great.
There you go.
I
I
love
think that's
it.
a treasure too. I get a lot of comedy bites out of that one for sure.
I went skydiving with my mom for the first time.
Did you
It was
really?
her idea.
She
That's
went as
awesome.
well.
We might have had a few margaritas first, and she's like, "Let's go skydiving." And we
then
did.
you just went.
And we freaking went.
In which
Where were you
country?
guys?
In Hawaii.
You were in Hawaii.
Yeah.
See, that's amazing.
I know, right? She's cool.
You guys are pretty close.
Yeah, very
That's
close.
awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, I guess you got to be if you're drinking. So let's go
Yeah,
skydiving. All
right.
right, Mom, I trust you.
it's a
You brought me
secret.
in here. I guess you don't want to
Yeah.
take me out.
She
Yeah.
must be really proud of you. I mean, you have so many credits, and now being on the show, is she been supportive for day one, or
Always, yeah. I was real lucky in that way.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, support. That's the main thing that I think that comes from a lot of this stuff too. Because where did you? And you went to school in Texas also, and you grew up in Texas.
Yep.
And so when you
Texas
decided,
forever street?
when you
That's right,
decided,
Texas forever, baby.
when you decided you wanted to go into this though, that was never had a problem with that as far as telling the family this is what I
Never.
want to do. They were just like, do it.
I was out of the womb. I mean, really, I was a little kid, like watching Rocky and Superman. I was like, I'm gonna be an actor in the movies.
Yeah.
I just knew what I wanted to do. So they had no option, I guess.
That was cool.
Yeah,
parents
but
kept
that's-
but
pushing you.
I remember when I quit football, like my junior year of high school, my dad was like, "Are you sure you want to do this? Because you can be the next Tom Brady." But I wouldn't have.
Were you good?
I chose the right. I was pretty good, but
you just
know.
want to do it. You have a passion
He
for
looks
it.
like a Texas
I'll
quarterback.
play quarterback in a movie,
Right.
Call it a day.
You were on Friday Night Lights.
Yeah.
I wasn't afraid. Yeah, I did that for
Well,
a few,
that's the
few
thing though.
weeks.
But that's a skill though. You take in with you now as an actor. So
Yep.
Like I never got hurt playing football, but I can play football and I can look good playing football.
That's right,
Put me
that's
in a
right,
movie.
that's
That's
right.
it. Yeah,
The
I
most
get it.
important about playing football on screen is the taking off the helmet and throwing
Sunshine.
He's got the mop for it.
Yeah,
too.
that's
He's got
right.
that.
Perfect.
Yeah, quarterback's all about the hair, right?
Oh, yeah. Well,
the
no,
arms are
I'm
kind of important. Hair's more important.
But the family was pretty supportive, and they said, okay, fine, we're going to support you, do your thing. And then you go to school for it, or you just moved to California as soon as you could.
You know, I mentioned my buddy Ryan Ross. Like,
Yeah.
there was an open call for this movie that Richard Linklater was a local filmmaker in Austin, and so anyway, I got long story short, got a part in this movie like the day before I graduated. Walked the stage on graduation, then went down to Austin, and the next day I was filming a movie called Levelland. Okay. And that did the festival circuit and all that. So I got an agent in LA and just packed up my Jeep and drove out and then got my ass kicked for.
Of course, the
for a
Texas
while.
quarterback has a Jeep too. Just-
That's right. It's like part of the-
Did you keep in touch with him? Have you talked to him about any other of his future movies?
Linklater. When I was doing a movie in Austin a few years ago, and I had dinner with him and some people, and he
great.
was talking about he's one of the smartest, too smart for me, I think at times. He's incredible.
Those cerebral people that you're at dinner with.
Yeah, it makes me want to. Yeah, but he's really talented and a great guy.
That's awesome. Do you got any more?
Yeah, I got a bunch.
Yeah.
All right, because I wouldn't go on a treasure hunt with my mom. I was stuck with her in traffic last week for 2 hours, and I wanted to throw myself into the traffic. Actual scavenger hunts. Like those people have like those parties where you go on scavenger hunts. I'm selling blood on this one, but
Me too. Too much. I don't have patience.
Yeah,
it takes
right.
Scavenger hunt?
you know, like scavenger hunts. People do scavenger
Yeah.
hunts.
Definitely treasure.
That's a treasure for you.
I won my senior scavenger hunt.
See,
Just so you
is that
guys
Maybe it was
know.
like
Yeah, mine was.
for me, I think that it sounds great in theory, and then I just get bored.
Yeah.
I think I just get bored.
maybe if someone like
No.
gave you a private jet and said like you can use this, go on a scavenger hunt.
Now I
around
like the way you
world.
think.
I don't think scavenger hunts usually have that.
Unless it's the
Yeah.
Amazing Race.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. Would you do the Amazing Race? Blood and treasure. Blood or treasure.
You know what's funny? My brother Luke and I, like years ago, were like, we should do the Amazing Race as brothers. We should do it.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Is that show still in the
We can do
air?
that.
Yeah. I think
It is,
so.
right?
Is it?
I don't know.
Of all reality shows, is that the one you'd be most likely to do?
I want to do the Man vs. Wild with Bear Grylls.
See, that's fun.
Where we go survive together. Or he survives.
He
and
survives for I saw him because I saw Julia
do it.
Roberts on that thing with him. I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think so. Like a while
Weird.
ago. Yeah. It was,
How about Naked and Afraid?
I love that show because the men always just like completely deteriorate.
Totally.
They lose themselves, all sense of reality, and they break down slowly. And the women, who are the stronger species, show shows, drag the man's ass out of the jungle.
Like she said before,
Yeah.
with the woods.
Well, I can't drag you out of the
But you
jungle,
can,
but
you
I
can
can
make us
do-
survive.
Yeah, I can.
You can make
Just
us
to be
survive.
clear, yeah.
That's the truth. All right, let's do 2 more.
Okay, 2 more. Big game hunting.
No, hell no.
Okay.
No. Too beautiful.
Yeah.
Couldn't do it.
I'm gonna go blood on that one too. I don't
What,
think.
that's like shooting a deer?
No, deer is like regular hunting. I'm like tiger or like a lion. Or like
the big blood
A
on that
deer's
one.
not big game?
I mean,
Deers
I
are
guess
huge.
it sort of is.
It's not really. Yeah, it's not what they.
A tiger?
Yeah.
Where are you going?
To Africa on a private
You know,
plane.
my mom married a safari guide. Like that.
No way.
Because he didn't like to hunt, she didn't like to hunt. So they sat in the car while other people went and hunted
did it, yeah.
and fell in love. And she got married like a few weeks later. and
Why were they both there then?
She went there. Actually, I think she went there on a date with another person.
To skydive.
And
Didn't work out.
And fell in love with her safari guide.
Look at that.
She was not married at this point, I should say.
Right.
Yeah,
Look
she
at
was
that.
single.
That's
So.
great. Last one.
good.
All right, so listen, we've talked a lot about adventure movies, Blood and Treasure.
Mm.
Goonies, obviously a classic.
Hell yeah. Oh, I love it.
A Goonies 2, a possibility of a Goonies 2. Would you do Blood or Treasure? See, I've always been in the Blood category in this one.
I think I got to go with Treasure,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
It just depends.
Get the original guys back to, or the team behind it.
Yeah.
Get a good script and
Yeah, that's the magic. That's the thing.
It's
that's
like-
that's the thing. 'Cause you look at Stranger Things, right? You look
Right.
Stranger Things has a Goonies and Stand by Me kind of a thing around it, but that's magic in a bottle.
it's like Josh
Like a
Brolin
bottle.
now and Sean Astin, all these guys just grown up and.
It'd be amazing. Thanos
Still,
and
you
Rudy
could.
running around the
Yeah,
place.
Thanos and Rudy.
I think we should
Really good.
pitch this to
Yeah.
Universal
Goonies
or
2
whoever.
Can we just get a
is banned.
Netflix series called Thanos and Rudy?
There you go.
That would be great. Thanos and Rudy. Well, Thanos and Rudy is not a series, but Blood and Treasure is, and it is on CBS. You can watch it now, guys, Tuesday nights, 10 p.m. And thank you so much to Matthew Barr for coming in today. Thank you for joining us. Really a pleasure having you in today, man.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate it.
Matt Barr.
Guys, let's Collider Live. We're going to be back tomorrow, so make sure you check us out. Download us on Apple Podcasts or Stitcher or Spotify, wherever you want to listen to us for sure. And we'll be back on the regular Collider Live channel very, very soon. And get those tickets for the Schmoedown at the Schmoedownlive.com, either San Diego. The tickets, by the way, for Collision, the live streaming, it's up right now. You can get those tickets also at the Schmoedownlive.com. We'll catch you tomorrow.